Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. We saw the NASDAQ just sneak back into positive territory at the end of the day yesterday. Was able to snap a three-session slide for tech stocks. The Dow, S&P, on the other hand, not so much. They ended lower for the third straight day at the end of the day yesterday. We are seeing futures under pressure a little bit here. Overall, just a little change to start the morning. That scare in cryptocurrency markets spilled over into equities yesterday, even as some of the cryptocurrency markets made impressive recoveries throughout the second half of the day. Investors also mulled over the latest minutes from the Fed meeting for April. They're talking about tapering some of their asset purchasing, which is going to pressure stocks, I fear, going forward as well. We'll talk about that coming up. Cisco shares to the downside this morning after earnings. Their forecast, not what people were looking for. We're looking at Virgin Galactic Space moving higher today, finally confirming their latest test flight as well. It's Thursday, May 20th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at, mixed board to start things off. As I mentioned, the NASDAQ positive to start. The Dow, S&P sliding ever so slightly. The TSX futures here in Toronto pointing to a red open as well. Yeah, bouncing back for cryptocurrencies, both Bitcoin at the bottom there, Ethereum as well, 9% so far for Ethereum. Crude oil again today under pressure, down 1.4%. That is on top of the 3+% slide we saw in energy markets yesterday. So gonna have to look at some energy stocks here, guys. We're getting into the back half of the week. Good morning. It is Thursday, going to be an interesting one once again. Lots of, not lots of earnings, but interesting reports to talk about coming up. Cisco under pressure. One of those stocks that's been holding up, I guess, a little bit better than the rest over this past couple of weeks. We can have a look at cryptocurrency markets once again, as well as we are seeing a bounce back for those today.
And what a bounce back it was. I mean, certainly some have done a little bit better than others, and we can get into that. Welcome. As you mentioned, Brendan, it's Thursday. There's, not just Cisco. I mean, it was also a Kohl's as well, and we'll probably be talking about that. So, positive earnings on a few names that got beaten up. I think L Brands didn't fare too well this morning, despite a positive return. Well, across the board numbers. At least with Cisco, you could have pointed to that guidance to see the reason why it's down. But the real story, I almost said the real story is Virgin Galactic. Whatever. The real story is Virgin Galactic finally set the date for the 22nd for their test flight. I kid. The real story is a recovery in crypto, but obviously 6 million shares in the pre-market for Virgin Galactic is about as high relatively as any other name that I've seen. It's pretty light volume so far, so we're excited to look to trade this one. I'm not in short right now. I got no positions on. You got to let this one simmer out, as I was saying in the chat, because I think it's like 20-something% short interest. I'll double check that. Probably should have done that already, but I'm pretty sure I'm close to accurate enough there. And I got to eat pineapple on a pizza today. Pizza Nova doesn't open until 11, so we'll make sure we get that for the end of the show.
Yes, sir. I've already funded that said project.
Of course you would.
So thank you to whoever knew the Camp Low yesterday was the rhymes that Neil was dropping on the show. So thank you. Neil will be eating pineapple pizza. It's pineapple pizza day, baby. So the cash cow will be holding a piece of pizza. We should have created a graphic for pineapple pizza, guys.
No, that's
day today. But look, we have Raheem Alani here. I just saw him. That's going to be a good treat coming up, talking about some smaller names, some different ideas for you guys. That's going to be coming up. So get ready for that. Always enjoy when Raheem comes on. We also put up more notes. Our sticky note is up. We like Virgin Galactic today. We've talked about that. We like Palantir. I think Coinbase, guys. I think Coinbase now, with that move yesterday in crypto and the bounce back, I really feel like, I'm not going to say it legitimized the space. I mean, crypto, you can have your opinions on whatever you want, but that bounce back, Bitcoin right now, guys, back to 41. I put up a 15-minute chart just so you could see, that was capitulation, crash to the downside there, 29.8, let's call it 30,000. Now back to 42,000. So I think Bitcoin held its own there, and we're good to go right now. And, I don't know if it's clear skies, but for the next, at least for the next little while, I think we should be okay. I was nervous, obviously, when China was going to get back on board last night and see what that happened to. But Ethereum right now, 2,800. We just took our first long of the day, again, off the sticky note. We're long right now. AMD, guys, we just took it off yesterday's high break. I mean, yesterday's high break was 77. We basically want to take it a little bit earlier than that. So we're going to get in right now to AMD, not AMC, and let's see if this one can fly. 4 billion reshare purchase program yesterday, Brendo. That's that huge spike right here. So let's see if we get momentum in the NASDAQ. The semis have been beat up. Let's see if they lead the way today.
Still an hour to go as we head towards the open here. We just got the weekly jobless claims number there out in the U.S. It was 444,000 versus 452,000 expected. So more or less in line, but the futures did tick higher there on that number. Before we get any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Hey guys, I wish us all a great, successful day, and please make sure to like this video right now. Your support is so important to us. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We'll jump into a few things here before we get too far ahead of ourselves. I wanted to mention some news in the cannabis space to start things off. It was CGC. Let me pull this up because I want to show you this headline. It's Seeking Alpha, so it's not going to work. But Martha Stewart joining the Canopy Growth board as a strategic advisor, guys. So it didn't really do much to the stock, but Martha Stewart all over the cannabis industry.
Hey, you mentioned that. There we go. Hey, what's up? Brendan, you just got uglier there for a second. No, but look, I thought I didn't think she was already part of the board, but CGC's already doing stuff with Martha Stewart, with a lot of different brands and gummies, I believe it was, some sort of an edible there with Martha Stewart. So let's see. CGC right now, obviously as a cannabis name. This is why I said uh-oh when he said it. First of all, AMD right now, guys. Let's see if that goes to the moon. 10 cents in the money. We'll wait for that one. But cannabis has been beat up, the marijuana sector. We're still waiting for, mass legalization across the board. And until we get that, then I'm not really super worried about the cannabis positions that I'm in. I like CGC for numerous reasons. Constellation Brands, huge investor there, so they have the backing. They have acreage farms as well, so we'll wait to see where this one goes. But Canopy is where I'd put my money, although right now it's kind of spread out. Canopy, Tilray, and a few other little ones. So I like that True Leave as well. That's another big one that I'm in. So yeah, I like it, and a good story there.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, it's not the only celebrity story that we'll probably be talking about a little bit today. There is that Oatly, I guess the vegan food company coming out there, and Oprah Winfrey will be backing them. Now, I don't really know. I mean, we talk about these IPOs all the time and whether or not we get a chance to trade them on the show, but Oatly is coming through today. And I will make just a correction because I know I made this mistake. When it came to Squarespace yesterday, it was a direct listing, not an IPO. That's one of the reasons for the weakness. It's also why I was going short off of the open. Yeah, I mean, that trade didn't age too well. We can quickly show it here, guys. It's going to be on radar for me, if only because of the volatility that it had on day one. With a direct listing, of course, it's a bit of a different litmus. You don't have the underwriters maybe defending the price, and it's really for insiders to be able to sell. You tend to get solid price discovery, but it's probably still figuring itself out. We're going to be watching this one. I'm looking at a 45 level. If it gets any kind of strength back anywhere close to yesterday's open price, which is at 48, I mean, that's going to be a short for sure. But Squarespace, that was a direct listing yesterday, not an IPO. My fault.
Okay, we'll jump into some mining news here, guys. Not news, but we're going to talk a little bit about some metal and mining stocks. We'll give you a few opportunities or maybe some names you haven't been aware of or flying under the radar. Most of these are going to be listed on the Canadian side. Most of them are dual listed, though, with OTC listing as well. Rahim Alani, OCI Groups, joining us once again. Good to see you, as always. Back to discuss some smaller names, but again, the reason we kind of bring these to your attention is there might be underlying news, there might be some sort of catalyst that could give these stocks some sort of movement maybe in the coming weeks to months. But let's jump right into things here. SSR Mining, the first one.
Yeah, that's a gold and silver focused company. And just like you were saying, in terms of the momentum play, gold's had a good 3-month run here. So the names that we'll be talking about cover that sort of gold space where you've seen gold where it previously was, in August, called it last year. Gold was up in the 2000s, silver was in the $30 range. Obviously that tailed off with Bitcoin and the new mining that's come in. and those numbers that have come there. Now you've got gold coming back, potentially going back into the 2000s. It's in the 1800 range. Silver's back in the 27s, potentially going back into the 30s. So a company like SSR, they've got projects in Nevada, Saskatchewan, and in Argentina. And with production, with results, they're pumping out, I think it was 196,000 ounces of gold last quarter, 44 million of free cash flow, 77 million, sorry, of free cash flow. The company's started a dividend program. They're doing a 5-cent dividend for shareholders that hold as of June,
Right.
and a massive share buyback program that they started in April as well. So they really believe in themselves, obviously. And with both of those things as impetuses, along with the price of gold, you may see a move around a company like that.
I mean, there's always catalyst of a news base for this sector, but there's been this kind of discussion going on that with the scare that we've had, yesterday over the past couple of days with cryptocurrency markets, some money may be coming back out of crypto markets and going back into some traditional gold companies, but also the gold market overall. So these types of ideas, definitely good to kind of put in your back pocket. The next one here, Novo Resources, NVO, listed on the TSX here in Toronto.
Yeah, so again, Novo projects in Australia, Canada, US, and you'll see a lot of these companies that we speak about generally will have projects in multiple jurisdictions or focus just in one core area. But having those 3 projects are useful for them. They're developing a lot of great projects. They just raised another $26 million recently, and they're doing some more geophysical work. So again, what you're going to want to look for with companies like this is if they intend to do some geophysical or some drilling work, what the results are going to be on the back of that. And again, going into the summer season, there's a lot more drilling that comes.
We know, as a whole, we know this market, this Canadian market, is made up of, a big percentage of these gold stocks, mining stocks in general.
Yep.
How many would you say are of this type of size that might be kind of flying under the radar versus the kind of mid to bigger cap?
That's a really good question, because like we said, there are the large Agnicos and Barricks of the world that sit right up there, and then you've got this mid-tier of companies that are on the precipice of sort of getting to that level.
Yeah.
And what really happens, and you'll see with a lot of these companies too, with the smaller guys, they'll also pick up projects that the mid guys can't really handle, and they really make their names on the ability to grow some of those smaller projects that the mid-sized guys didn't want. So on a percentage basis, it's tough to say there, but there are companies that are ready sort of be on that breakout to get into the mid to large scale and come off that sort of small mid scale. And then some of these small guys, I mean, they're the ones that really want to show that big bump, right? Because if they can get some good results, then all of a sudden they go from micro to small and small to takeout.
Taking the next step. Gold Mountain Mining, the next one here. GMTN, which is junior exchange here on the Venture Exchange.
So that's exactly what I was just talking about. So they picked up a project off a company called Equinox with a $10 million payment, $1 million up front, and $9 million over the next 3 years. And a big bump, if you see, look, their stock price, a big bump just recently happened when they made their first of $3 million payments. So that was a good note for them. They are going to be constructing the mine. One would imagine there will be a permit probably coming along with that. And they're doing some drilling work. And so you see with the drilling work and the results that come out, the stock just starts to continue to move. So as long as they continue to deliver on this project, it's a past producer in BC. So as long as they continue to work on things like that, in theory, you should still see more results. Results should beget stock price.
And now as we see prices for these metals moving on a daily basis, fluctuating as they do, some of these smaller companies not necessarily going to be as closely tied to the price of the overall metal or underlying whatever their focus is. But this is why we bring these to your attention, because if the results are coming, if they have maybe a drilling hole that's set to come online in the coming months or weeks, it's good to know about what is next. Maple Gold Mining, another one that's on the Venture Exchange. MGM.
Yeah, Maple, again, if you look at the sort of the chart of Maple against the chart of gold, you'll see that in the last 3 months, Maple's stock has started to tick back up as it came off its previous lows from a few months ago. They have a big project with Agnico. They have a huge project overall, but they have a 50-50 joint venture with Agnico. So again, if Agnico believes sort of in this project, they took it into production from 1974 to 1993, and then they ceased production there. Maple just joint ventured that project. So in theory, again, in the world of mining, if there was gold there before, the likelihood of there being gold again, gold doesn't really dissipate per se. So there is a likelihood that they're going to try and redevelop that project in the joint venture and take advantage of the gold momentum.
Always good to know what is still in the ground if it was there once before. Van Gold Mining, VLGD, also another one on the venture exchange.
Yeah, same thing with that. They picked up a project off a company in Mexico, Guanajuato. They've got 2 sites there, past producer as well. They've made their payments and they're picking up these assets. And they just had a really big announcement. Again, if you look at their stock price in the last couple of weeks, really good results, 264 grams per ton on a Bonanza grab, 674 grams per ton on a Bonanza grab sample. So when you put out numbers like that, again, you just take the price of gold, you calculate out what in theory could be in the ground, and you might see some of these stocks move on that kind of news.
And I believe it's pretty easy to see which day that was that came out. So you can see the opportunities, guys, that
right.
You come in one day and it's gapping up 50%. Puma Exploration, we don't actually, or I can show you the chart on a different platform here, but another one here that's going to be on the venture exchange. That last one, worth mentioning, that was the OTC listing that we showed you there. But tell us about Puma Exploration.
Yeah, Puma, again, that's one of those ones that we just, like similar to a Vangold, you put out some good results and all of a sudden you see the stock really move in the last month. If you take a look at the chart in the last month, it's really popped off, which has been...
This is a daily chart here, so
that's good too. It's had a good day. It had a good day yesterday. And yeah, so they're one of those ones that's focused on a specific region. So they're really focused in New Brunswick. And what they've continued to do is 2 things. One is get really good results. So they had the grab samples of 264 grams per ton on a couple of their samples. And they're adding properties. And you put those, again, 2 things together. You continue to add size of project and you get to a scale that could be big enough, and you continue to get some drilling results on the other side. And as you continue to build your portfolio of properties in a specific area, so they want to be a regional play, New Brunswick is becoming a mining hotspot in certain extents. And you put those 2 things together, with some good results, you might see the stock continue to move, and they either start at that point, a company like that will start to vend off properties, or will become a takeout target for somebody who says, I want to be in New Brunswick.
So much focus, obviously, on cryptocurrency mining. It's always important to understand the other
mining.
Traditional, the first type of mining. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto. A pleasure, as always.
Always.
Great information. Guys, what do we think about gold? I mean, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, having that pullback along with the rest of the resources market really in general, but always worth kind of having a few ideas in your back pocket.
Yeah.
No, I mean, certainly, we talked about the connection, or sometimes I would say lack thereof, with the markets. And it's not to point the finger, but you had like those different levels of blame that were getting thrown around as to why there was that move. I'm talking specifically in crypto. Like, was this because some institutions are pulling out and going into gold? Was it because of Elon Musk? Is it because of what happened with China? Or is it all of the above? And just a quick show, just because we obviously showed you the crypto crash, and I think everyone was interested in watching that. But at the other end of that coin is the movement that you see in the GDX. Is certainly what most traders on the floor would go for their proxy to go in, and they just like this mining ETF. And the volatility was absolutely humongous yesterday, which does show that the connection is there, at least certainly on the big moves. And I think that's where some people were getting that notion that, okay, like there was some money coming out of coming out of crypto going into gold, and then the reverse. When it reversed, it was unbelievable to the upside. You can see correspondingly there were some significant drops. Some of this, of course, does have to do, this is after 2 o'clock, some of this has to do, of course, with the Fed and with the tapering talk. So put some downward pressure on some of the metals there. I mean, I'm sitting here saying it's probably not a horrible place to start actually taking more profit off on something like US Steel, which already had a 30 top. So it has something you have to consider. 2 parts of the move. One was the crypto in the morning. Second, in the afternoon, of course, you got to react to that Fed and the tapering talk.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I love the gold plays. I would invest maybe in Barrick Gold. You get a small little dividend at least, and there's something there. Barrick still has room to run to the high side here, $30, $31 or so. But, I mean, there's lots of junior mining plays like we just discussed. And you could hold, I mean, we've talked about this with Mark Roberts a few times, about money in gold versus money in equity versus crypto. And I just think the more diversified you are, probably the better it is, no matter what you're doing. But I like to be diversified in the tech space. Look at AMD right now, guys, 20% up There we go. So now, there we go. The charts, we have a new version and they just didn't change there. So I'm waiting at 97 right now. This is 20 cents in the money. This nice little AMD trade. We'll wait to see. It's coming up to 97. We'll probably get this print. So a good little run there. But thank you to Rahim Alani again from OCI Group stopping by. Always nice to talk smaller names and, you know, broader ideas. Just like how Mark Roberts sometimes will drop things that we've never really heard of. That's what the value there with Rahim. Thank you so much. And I think you got to get into some gold if you're not into any.
All right, let's get into upgrades and downgrades for the morning, guys. A few to make note of. We mentioned this one yesterday. TJX back on here. Lowe's back on here. Viacom, CBS, I noticed, was up in the pre-market. No significant news outside of a Bank of America upgrade. Baidu, JD.com, both the Chinese e-commerce names on here. I mean, that was about it as far as downgrades. There were a few other ones with price target cuts, but nothing significant. But retailers on the upgrade side today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, interesting timing on the upgrade for Lowe's. They're just crossing. And obviously, there were a few other names, and we've talked about a couple on the retail side that have broken down, even off of positive earnings here. Target did really, really well. Lowe's, of course. Lowe's, Home Depot, take your pick who you like a little bit better. I know some definitely prefer that Home Depot, but below that 50 period and breaking. And then you catch the upgrade. So is there some value there? I mean, great if it can hold this 185. And we might have mentioned this on the show yesterday, but yeah, but great if it can hold this 185. I think you get below that number, and it can get a little bit tricky for Lowe's. I did notice Baidu on there. I don't want to sleep too much on some of these, I guess the Chinese names, Baidu and JD, both a little bit on the move. But another thing you'd mentioned, not to jump away from it, I don't think it's on the watch list this morning, and that's going to be Coinbase. And whoops, you don't want a daily chart for that. Bit of a break this morning, so for me, I've had to revise at least a little bit of my plan because it's broken through this 230. Now, when I was originally coming in, I'm like, oh, 230 top on a ramp. From like that 7 o'clock little push, it then pull back. I'm like, this is gearing up. It has a chance to give you a 230 break. Well, that's already happened, so it just came into 232, broke that, and is sliding back in. I mean, the first thing I'm going to think about is, that'll be okay. Great if it can hold the 230. I'm looking a little bit deeper than that, towards that 229, and maybe even a little bit lower on any kind of a pullback in Coinbase. Had some more success buying dips as opposed to breakouts, but there are some breaks already happening, it looks like, in this market. Coinbase recovering up 3%. Of course, you've seen significantly more than that to the upside with the crypto crash in just about every coin you could find.
Yeah, I just tweeted out. I added to my Coinbase long here just now. So for longer term position, we added to Coinbase just now. So we're averaging down into Coinbase. We talked about doing that at some point. I'm going to do it now. I believe in that space, obviously, and I also believe AMC has a chance again today off of a horrible day yesterday. I think it was down. Was it down 8, 9, 10%? I believe at the close. We had a huge trade right near the end of the day off breaking right here, 1240, 1250. If you guys remember that trade right to the upside, we had this whole long on AMC. So that was great. Good trade there on AMC at the end of the day. It does stop basically in the aftermarket at 1280. So that's my breakout long spot, 1280 on AMC. I like that for a long today. We'll see. I don't, the short interest, it's not about the plays anymore. It's just about the fact that this has been a wild stock. And, we've seen it the last couple days make moves, both morning and afternoon moves as well. So let's wait to see if AMC has just one more trick up its sleeve today at this 1280 level. So we're going to go long through there, and we're also long AMD. So I'm going to be screwing that up all day today, AMD and AMC. So it's the alphabet day. And don't worry, I see some more comments there. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Pizza Thursday. So Neil will be having the Hawaiian pizza. It's already funded. Let's just hope that they make it because you have to buy individual slices, right?
They always have Hawaiian.
We can buy a whole pizza. I don't know. I never even thought about that.
There's zero need to buying an entire pizza. What? Who's going to
I never even thought about buying the whole pizza, but I'm just hoping that, when you walk into the pizza place, they have pre-made slices. Hawaiian's pretty popular around here, so I'm thinking, Lucas has had some success going in there and getting Hawaiian slices. I just hope that, it's there because remember, we also have an interview today, so we got to go almost like right at 11 and grab that pizza and then get ready. Neil will be eating that around 11:25-ish. It's pizza day, Neil's favorite, Hawaiian, guys.
Already volunteered to eat whatever is left after Neil takes his slice. So
he'll eat anything.
Yes, let's get an entire one, I feel. Let's jump into what's moving around in the pre-market, guys. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you sign up for the free watch list. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. Valeria will help you out in the chat. If you need that link, ask her very nicely. The first one here, Cisco, guys. Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise. The overall numbers were positive, in line with expectations to slightly higher, but their forecast was a bit of a problem here for Cisco. So another earnings name trading lower.
Like you slightly guide missing expectations, and then you get dumps like a truck. It's not that Cisco, but I'm that old.
Like what?
You know what? To be perfect, I haven't thought of the singer Cisco in probably like at least a decade. I'm sure no one else has either. Apologies, Cisco. Whatever. It was a great song. You had a great run. Fantastic success on you. The stock, however, it got beat. It got beat up. I mean, Kohl's, Cisco, different spaces, but this just feels like it's way too much here. I'll go to the daily chart first because this tells you the entire story. And sometimes you're sitting around and if you look at some of these in the pre-market, in the post-market, and then you look for what the rebound levels might be, and when it broke 50, you kind of look at this like 48 and 49. It's like, really? Is it going to come all the way down to those prices? That's exactly what it did. One of the things that I'll try to look for, and a lot of trades will, it's like, okay, what happens when it tries to consolidate? It makes that bounce and consolidates. Are you opening higher than that? It's a sign of strength here. So, we're not at the open yet. We got a half an hour to go, but it looks pretty solid that we're going to be above that 49 mark, at least for the time being. There are no real big clusters that I see here. Obviously you have the 50 break, which we'll get to in a quick second, but there's really no clusters on the way back up that sort of stick out to me. Just 50-50 when you go back to the daily chart, like one of the recent lows was 50-50. So, that could be another jump off point there on Cisco. I kind of feel like it got beat up too big. You do have yesterday's low, aftermarket low 48.85 as cover. You have the pre-market low if you like to use that 49.20. You can use 49 even, or just the area stop. But wow, it's not like they guided that poorly. It's crazy. I'm surprised. I'm surprised by Kohl's how far they went down. I'm surprised by Cisco as to how much it was dumped in the aftermarket yesterday.
Yeah, no, I actually wrote that down right here on the list here. Cisco, breakthrough 50. It's not as bad as this move makes it seem. So here we go. I just put the list there on our chat. You can find it already. 40 likes, not bad. 6 retweets. There it is. Cisco, $40 or $50. Sorry. Let's wait to see where it goes. My order's already in. We'll be in this one as the market opens up. We'll be long 50. So again, just like it. It's an even number. We can have that, and we can have it back to about, I may just give it all the way back to 49 here. Let's just see if we're wrong. We'll take some more bids downside into 49. So if we get low 49s, great. If not, we'll take 50. Just like we took AMD. Now it's still 15 pennies in the money. I haven't been able to break through 77 yet. I think Cisco has that opportunity. I'm not going to call where it goes. Let's just play the momentum. If I could take a quick 50, like Neil just mentioned, 50 cents there. If we could take a quick 50-50, like a scalp on that play, we'll probably get out of probably half or so if it rips up there. So I like Cisco on any sort of a rip. Not even. The market doesn't even have to go. But again, also, I tweeted out when the market was red, when we put that first tweet out, that we were going to probably have a big day on the positive side. So here we go. Cisco, we're going to be long right now. And there it is. My order goes out and misses.
You get it?
Yeah, I got to punch a little bit higher there.
Oh, no.
We only punched up 5 cents there. So there goes Cisco. We called that move, but we're just not in it yet.
I just want to mention Ford real quick here. Ford up 3%. They just unveiled the F-150, the electric version of the F-150, so popping up on that. There was also a headline suggesting they're teaming up with Sunrun Partners to provide installation of 80-amp Ford charge stations pros as well. So Ford making moves here, guys. 3%, a big move for Ford.
Yeah, I love Ford. I've been that's one of the positions that I put on recently in the last couple days. There goes Cisco, by the way. So that's a good trade as well, guys. We're gonna go 2 for 2 here today, hopefully to start the day. Yeah, Ford above 1250. This is that level that we're talking about, Brendo. We wanted Ford in this area. Now we're gonna get it today. It's rate upside. We were talking about Ford. Again, if you watch the show, Ford's a name that I've been talking about and trading for a while. Some of my bigger, wins monetarily have been on Ford because I like to take a little more shares than sometimes I'm even comfortable with. But 1250, 1260, like these are good highs. I mean, I kind of wish we were above this 1265 just because that's been resistance there at the past. But yeah, big moves up. We've seen this happen before. Ford from 11 to 1250, back down to 11. This is where we bought. We just bought 1131. We talked about that. So right now, let's see where Ford can go. Upside, I like it. Ford, let's just see if it keeps breaking levels. The highs right here at 1250. I like it 1250. But the one thing we haven't looked at yet is this. We haven't looked at the imbalance locator. So right now, Ford, the #1 stock on the imbalance locator. There's your Virgin Galactic as well. RLX Technologies is there, but that's only a $12 stock.
Yeah, that's not
WFC, blah, blah, blah. Gold, I just talked about Barrick actually not too long ago, and so far so good. But guys, right now, just on this, right? This is 20 pennies, this AMD recommendation. This Cisco right now is 25 pennies now in the money. So back-to-back jacks off the sticky note, guys. Let's go.
I just want to know, I mean, you saw that imbalance on Ford. There are some chunk offers there that might eat that up, right? Like you see like 180,000, 300,000, 55s and 50s on the even side. So you always put it in context if you have level 2 to know what's sitting in the book, and it kind of gives you an idea where it might have some trouble getting through. I like that 65, I think, is the big level for me on Ford, but I also really like this quarters on any kind of a pullback. And I know buying dips has been hairy in the stock. Last time I did it, it was not successful whatsoever. I really do feel like today could be a different story.
Let's bring in Arun here. We'll have a look at the overall market, check out the futures. Moving back to the upside, are we positive? Yeah, just. 0.1 right now, Arun, on the ES. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the same levels I gave you guys yesterday, 42.15. We're actually right there right now. 42.15 on the upside, and I was looking at, no, sorry, not 42.15, 41.15 on the upside, and 40.50 I had yesterday. So yesterday when I came on yesterday morning, we kind of traded within those bands. Those are the areas I was looking at. We traded within those bands, and today it looks like we're going to take the top band out. We're sitting just above it. I'm going to wait a little bit more, but if we can maintain some strength here above this 41.15 area, I'm going to go ahead and take a shot at the long side with a stop just underneath 4100, just to see if we can get some expansion towards at least the 4140, 4130 area or so. To the downside, I've still got that 4050, but on top of that, I've got the 4065 in play as well. And keep in mind, I also am waiting to see if we can go along here just above 4115, so I can get the 4100s in as a stop. So it does look like this momentum to the upside. We got quite a run towards the end of the day yesterday, from I think low 90s all the way up to into the 10s, 11s or so by the time we closed. So it looks like that momentum is going to carry forward. We did have a hiccup overnight, but we are going upside for now. So it looks like momentum's carrying strong. So I think you've got to take a shot on the upside, see if we can get some expansion. Keep in mind, if the 4100 breaks though, that's going to get tough. If let's just say we go long and this trade doesn't work out and it comes back to the downside, it gets a lot harder to figure out what's exactly happening because the highs are moving up, but it can't maintain any strength above 4100. So at that point, you really can't do a whole lot. You're just going to have to wait for it to come back down to the mid 50s, low 50 or high 50s, and see if there's a play there in front of that support. And I think the real shot on the short side, if you are looking for shorts here, is if you get the 4050 to break. At that point, I think you have some space for the downside and see if we can't go towards the 4030s and then try to take that out and go lower. But for now, upside bias, see if we can get some expansion, and 4100 would be the stop on that trade.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. We are under 30 minutes away from the open. Virgin Galactic up here a lot, 20+%. They finally confirmed this test flight. Yeah, trying to go to the moon today. But, I mean, is this overdone a little? I feel like this is a lot for just saying, okay, we're finally going to do what we already said we were planning on doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so. I actually got in and out of one quick little attempted break of 21 even, but I just want to show perspective here, of course, guys, because like you said, it's a big bump and they have a lot of hurdles that come through on the logistical side. Obviously, some of the turnaround and maintenance are bigger problems. Well, as big a problem as I think all these delays which have been coming through. It's probably, look, and if it makes another push to the upside, which I'm kind of already thinking isn't going to happen today, but it is over 20% short interest, or at least last time I had checked. So you got to think about what is an obvious level eventually at 24 if it gets there. There's a lot of people that would look at, it was an obvious sort of stop out area if you had this like 30 level, but if you were, say, long in the 30s, kind of an obvious stop out when it breaks that low. And on the way back in, you had some people thinking it would have bounced off that price. So there's probably some longs trapped in there that'll look like they might want to get some out if it rounds off to 24. So that's about 10-15% away, and let's get that out of the way very, very quickly. I did try it when it was breaking this 21, but I mean, there was basically immediately like just some buyers sitting here at this 2080 to 85 area. And anytime you have like a little pop into this like 2080 in the pre-market, and it's a turnaround price, and then a bit of a breakout and consolidation there, it's going to take some effort, I think, to chew through this price at 2080, 2075. So I didn't want to hang on to it too deep. It's going to come right back and test it for us here. I think I might give it a crack at like a 2075 break. If it does pop up, I probably want to give this to I probably want to give it to 22 off of the open before looking at a short style trade. All that said, there is a decent chance, and at two levels into the downside here. One of them was the 20 even, but the one I think is going to be even more, it's far more interesting, is going to be this like 1940 to 1950 area. A decent shot that if it ever gets down here, and say I've missed out on a short, there might be a quick little bounce buy off of that price. But I'm going to lean first to the short side of the trade. You have to remember that short interest, so you have to be willing to go in both directions and have a tight stop. I mean, have a stop in mind. I shouldn't tell you guys what kind of stop you should have. I already used a tight one here to lose like 10 cents or so. That's the way I would like to play Virgin Galactic, or basically anything that has a decent short size interest, just to be a little bit careful. First thing, we'll look at that 2075 off the open. If it pops and breaks 22, you'll count me out of the short 100%.
Yeah, the only thing we wrote down was 25 level on Virgin Galactic. I'm not super interested in this stock today, but with the move that it's had, obviously here on the daily chart, it's going to be, we're already at 21, so we're already over this level. This was sort of the 25 to 26 gap that happened. 27 basically, gap down to 25s, and then we've started to head down since then. So that's a level that I'm looking at. We're not going to get to 25 today, but for a day trade there, yeah, we're way above that moving average, so let's forget about that. And then I would just say you look at today's action, yeah, it's a 2150 breakout long, or 2160, I guess, the high of the day. But I like what Brendan said, and it's as soon as I sat down, I said the same thing. Like, so this was a planned, a scheduled flight up, a test. So I don't know why this is up 22%. And again, it's just my own, lack of knowledge. Is maybe there was a chance that it wasn't going to happen. So now that they announced that we're good to go, shows some confidence. So let's wait to see. But that seems, 22% for a known event. It seems too much. But again, the name itself has just been one of those beat down names, right? So you are going to get this bump up. It makes sense that it's up now. Cathie Wood, a lot of these, innovation stocks here are going to start to fly now. I believe this is the right environment now. The Nasdaq's already had its move down from what I think. So I like space to be going upside. I just think this move is a little bit too much. I look to short anything through $20.
All right, let's talk about Tesla here. Another one that's had a bit of a wild ride over the past couple of sessions, 3 or 4 even. If you have a look at the daily chart. Nice look here in the pre-market, though. We're up 1.7%, trying to hold just below 575. But a little bit ugly here. But these are big levels, guys, over on the daily chart. It's definitely not 10 seconds to the open, however.
I hit the stock logo button, and then that came up. So we'll figure that out afterwards. 9. Yeah, now you get analysis. All right, let's.
908. Yay.
Yeah, that's the
Most exciting analysis ever.
That's pretty much the worst one to hit, because like anything else just goes on the screen and then off the screen, and we don't need to worry about it. But there we go. So we're celebrating Tesla today. So up that 1.64%. Sorry about hitting that.
Gotta go long now.
Yeah, the market is not open, but you know what? That was the crypto ripping key. Is that Prad that I hear? Prad is back in the building. What's up, Pradley? Good to have him back. We had to ease back on some of our traders because, we're still in lockdown. All right, keep it down over there. All right, Tesla right now, 575. I like that number. Even numbers, we like those numbers. It's back up to 800. 870, obviously the high. Tesla's down, I think it's something like, was it 38% or something from its highs? So that's not good. Doesn't look good on the daily chart because we still haven't adjusted it here. But so let's not look at that. Yesterday's numbers, low. Obviously, we're not going to see any numbers from yesterday. But the day before, where we closed, I think this is a level that we need to look at. That's at 575. So we closed at 575 2 days ago. Yesterday was a rough ride. We saw crypto. We saw everything like that. So now we'll wait to see what happens here, breaking upside now through 575. So, hey, if you like the NASDAQ, which I do today, there's better name. I think there's better names out there than Tesla. But, hey, 575 long should work here. So I'm getting excited for that one. I think we'll take it. Not right off the open because I'm already long AMD. I'm already long Cisco. And I want to get long, obviously, a stock that I've never really traded before, Palantir. I want to get long that name as well. So there's going to be some different ones for me. But I like Tesla through 575.
Palantir, what's never heard of it.
Pizza.
I gotta find that one on my board because it's like a perfect one to throw in today. I got the spicy meatball, which is a fantastic topping, by the way. Pineapple's not. I like the long in Tesla today. 575 is fantastic. I don't like opening breaks on Tesla ever. So what I do like to try to do, and I actually have a bid down here, just see if I can capture something on a dip into 560. There it is. But you know what? That looks like an actual legitimate chef, right? Who probably makes actual real pizza, which of course would not include pineapple. That doesn't have any pineapple on it. So I'm going to be dwelling on this all day long. I'm kind of traumatized by it a little bit because it's going to be nasty. But 561, I'm going to be buying a dip on Tesla off of the open if it does dip. I like that 575. I'd much rather take that after a consolidation lower or after the open trade. I finally got into that Cisco long as well, Sean. I crossed up to 6. I didn't get it either. And I put my bid in front of 10s and got 11. So volume's a little bit lower, I noticed in the pre-market, and sometimes that does mean when you're taking a breakout, you got to cross further. Like you have to have a more aggressive limit order to make sure that you get the fill. Already the case.
All right, let's go back to another earnings name. Kohl's is who we're going to talk about here. So the EPS beat, the revenue beat, they guided higher right across the board, both revenue and sales for full year 21. And this is what the chart looks like.
I'm not super interested in the name. Well, it is partly because of that. We are downside there on Kohl's today, but look what's happened. So right now it's at $56, right? If you look at the Kohl's daily chart, okay, so there's really not too much interest. All right, here we go. So AMD about to take it out 30 cents now, hopefully with 20 cents in the money. We're waiting for it to break higher. But what's happened is it's just retraced all the way back down, basically to these sort of breaking points. I was hoping we'd even be lower than this, but right now, I don't want to do anything really until we break through 54. So we're at 56 right now. This is just the bottom of this range. I believe that there could be some chop in here, so I'm not super in love with anything Kohl's today. Big move down, but it did retrace nicely back to the upside. Like you mentioned, though, it's been a rough ride for some of these retailers. So here's another one down 7%. Not in love with Kohl's whatsoever, but hey, there's levels here. 57 is pretty clear, and so is 56. So if you like one of these, it's just yesterday the only losing trade we had on, I think we were 7 for 8, was Lowe's, and we went top to bottom on that one. So I could just get the same feeling here. Like I'm going to take a 56 break or something, and then it will go down to like 55.50. I won't take it, and then it will rip back up, and I'll get punched out at 57, and so be it. But there it is right now. We'll go a little bit of a mamma mia as right here. We just get 97s there, guys. We're long 73s. So, hey, man, the day's already starting with a little bit of this flying around. So congratulations. Both these names, Cisco and AMD, are on the sticky note, and on the watch list is Cisco, not AMD. But let's see if it can climb even higher. I believe this thing flies today, guys.
After the Lowe's experience yesterday, I actually do want to try a trade here in Kohl's. I think just patience is going to be the name of the game. Now, I have an area between 57 and then 58.25, and I think that's going to be my go zone. The problem with Lowe's for me was not being patient enough and then not holding out for what I think was going to be the better price. So if we get any kind of a breakout at 57, I'm going to anticipate that maybe that gives a bit of a fail to a lot of people here. And again, Michelle just went over the daily chart, so I don't have to go back over there. I think there could be some chop in this range and have some trouble pulling this gap back in, especially given the response we've seen with some of the retailers. It's like either it's really strong in the market, loves it, and we can continue higher, something like a Target, with Kohl's, you're seeing a little bit of the opposite. Despite those strong numbers, sometimes it's really just more about the momentum and then playing that initial reaction. So after the lows experience, I want to see if I can't get something a little bit closer to 58 short. So let 57 break and then try and fade it a little bit higher. So that's my play on Kohl's. Learn that lesson from a related stock in the previous session.
All right, let's go to DoorDash next. Interesting story this morning. It kind of came out of nowhere, really. JP Morgan said to be offering or shopping a large block of shares for DoorDash, 8 million, in fact, between 133.25 and 135.25. So down on that news this morning is Dash Air, 3.7%. So 133.25 here, 135.25 here, just kind of stuck in that couple dollar range here so far.
Yeah, I mean, and Dash had made an impressive run the last couple of sessions, and we took part somewhat in that move when we got these those breaks up towards that 140. Actually got past 140, up to just past 145 or so. It's been leveling off since. I think this move here, like you said, I mean, it's sitting right in that range. I mean, at least the upper bound of that range, which makes me sort of lean into the potential of a short. Now, you look at this break, and there was one, because 135 was the pre-market high, 134 was right on the low. Exactly a dollar range on light volume. It tries to break up, little bit of a volume spike into that move, not a heck of a lot, but then immediately fades back in. So, I mean, I'll take that news and be looking for a short in DoorDash. I just think that 133 could immediately have a bit of support in there, so you have to watch out for that. So it's probably a pure scalp play off of 134. The volume isn't fantastic, so I don't know that you want that one at 930. But I think you can try and grab a little something here off the high of the day and then see if you can't play that to the short side on DoorDash. I mean, I don't necessarily love the long here, but I could be convinced otherwise if we're back above that 136.
Just looking at, I'm just getting some AMD levels set up here. I think a 77.25 or so, maybe for the next little bit here on AMD. So I mean, I love the name. I love what's happening here. This is what I'm looking at. We've already had some problems at 77 over the last little while. I don't want to bust this long off the open. We're already long at 76, but right now, just looking at this 77, I just broke this down here. So I was going to say, how much room do we have to the upside after a nice move yesterday? But you know what? Maybe even more than 70. I mean, we could. This was a big move down. I'm wondering if we can get to 78. Let's take a little bit off for 50 cents if we're lucky enough to get that. And that's AMD. And I'm not sure what name you were just talking about. DoorDash. Obviously, we like DoorDash as well. Google plans to open physical retail store in New York. Okay, I don't know if is that a new? They don't have one already. I guess Google doesn't really have store. I mean, I know Samsung has stores. Google a nice 1% up today. Again, guys, this is the name that I think everybody needs to have in their portfolio. Look at this, just riding this 50-period moving average all the way up. We love some Google, man, and even when the market gets sour, Google doesn't really retrace too much. So from where it was. So I think that this is a nice name to own, and new revenues right there, I guess. A store, they sell tons of stuff. The Pixels are coming out. There's a new Pixel coming. I got to upgrade. I still got the 3 here. So Google 6, I guess, is coming out. I just let the wife upgrade all the time because I can't afford the double upgrades. These phones are pretty damn expensive right now, but I will be getting that one. And then just a quick look at QS here as I'm noticing this stock. Also up today again, 3%, which is obviously more than the market, and marching right now. I'm wondering if QS is about time to get involved with this name once again to the upside. I'm still stuck a little bit long at 41. You guys were live. It was live on the show when we were exiting that trade off that Scorpion report. There's a nice move up for QS. We did tip up yesterday at 30, so let's wait to see if QS can break 30 today.
Get over here. Sorry, Space just broke 2075, so I did get into that trade. We tried to tell you guys what's going to happen, so I'll let you know this is the other short I would do. There was an iceberg sitting right at 72, 73, and a bunch of buyers in there that just broke, so use that momentum to get a quick 10-cent scalp. There is that $20 level, which is coming here, guys. So off of the open, I'm probably going to be flat in front of Tony even and looking for some kind of a dip buy. So version 1 for 2 here. I got some out of Cisco as well. Yeah, Scorpion, you made me say get over here. What's up, Brendo?
All right, let's talk crypto stocks. We mentioned back above, I mean, it's 41,000 now. I put 40,000 on the watch list, but we've got to watch this group again today. This is where Coinbase is, in fact, hiding on our watch list today under the crypto stocks, guys. But all of these, I mean, take your pick. There's Mara, Riot, all higher, SOS even. I noticed in the pre-market moving nicely as well.
You
You
just hit this right on the nose, literally right now, Brendo. It just broke 42,000. So, like, wow, Bitcoin. I don't even have the Bitcoin thing on here, I'm pretty sure, guys. So, if you do, what does it look? Is it?
You know what? It's
Which one is it?
It's this one. There it is.
What is it called?
I don't know what it's called. It's a bunch of. It looks like lava around the screen, but it's really actually.
Oh,
Bitcoin.
there it is, lava.
Okay.
Okay, good. Got it. Thank you, Neil. Okay, so there it is, guys. We talk about this all the time on these breaks. Like, even dollar breaks, right? So 42,000, 45. Like, look, it goes straight up $500. This is probably where it will stop now, Bitcoin, and start to come back down before breaking again to 43,000. I mean, what a monster Bitcoin is. It's just unbelievable, the pullback yesterday that we had to witness, and it was so much fun to do that. It was a little bit stressful for sure, but I was buying here, and I actually converted some over to Cardano. We can talk about that later, but Bitcoin right now making those moves right back to where we were basically before this crash. Bitcoin struggled for a little while. You know, it wasn't great against Ethereum. We've talked about that. If you look at a oops, that's the wrong thing. If you look at a daily chart right here, you'll see what I'm talking about with Bitcoin. Nice little move up, and then this move down. So big time. We only go back to January. So that's why I was like really strange why everyone was like so worried about this move. Back to January. So you give up 5 months worth of gains, although no one actually sold. Part of the problem yesterday was liquidation. There was tons of accounts that got liquidated yesterday. So when you look over here, and I know we're talking about crypto names here, not just the stock. So when you look at a stock like Amara yesterday, I mean, if you do believe in this space, look at the liquidation point on this one. I mean, it was in the, I guess, actually I didn't have it in the pre-market, but this one got all the way down yesterday in the pre-market to 1860. Okay, right now you're trading, like, forget about it. If you think coins are too dangerous or you don't want to open up an account, look, I get it. Cold storage versus holding them on exchange, whatever. I believe some of these exchanges now are super tight, like Binance, Coinbase, things like that. I don't think they're going to get hacked or anything, but I don't know. Knock on wood, maybe they do. That pipeline did, right?
Thanks.
So 1860 to the downside right there. What a gift that was at about 919, and now you're rewarded today, guys, $24. So I mean, that return alone, you know, beats what's been happening anywhere else. So that's a good. I mean, I guess if you got Ethereum at the very bottom, that was a good one. But right now up to 2350. I think these things are able to run today. So let's just watch it. I mean, it's a big level for Mara right now. You were able to get that yesterday. Let's see if it takes out this top, $24.
Yeah, I mean, just going down the line, I know we talked a little bit about Coinbase, and again, adjusting plans, I'll move the dip into 230, of course, because we just touched 235, so already some big moves. I mean, the entire space, you can go across any image you like. And I said, eventually I have to start looking at day trades in Silvergate, given how strong it's been. We're up to 108 on this name, so the rebound has been pretty good. On the flush, is worth noting, on the flush that happened over the space, basically Silvergate wasn't sold as much. A lot of the move they got up, of course, is a partnership with Facebook and DM or whatever they're calling it now. I look right here, there was a dip into this 108 level, so this could be the next little resistance point for Silvergate. And if it does want to make a bit of a pullback, you just go right back in here and look at that 100 in the afternoon. I mean, if you sniff 100, I'll be long in front of it. And Virgin Galactic, just a quick little update. I took some shares out in front of the 50 level as well. So there's some clusters, it's getting down towards that 20 level. You had some peaks into 2040, and then that 20 where I'm actually thinking about a rebound long, even though I kind of prefer the short today. I'm looking for a possible rebound long at the open at 20 even on Virgin Galactic, but I'm short right now.
One quick thing. I said that Mara was better than most stock or most coins, but you guys saw me live on the show buy ADA Cardano at 112 yesterday. So you guys saw me buy that live. I mean, obviously I didn't log into my account in front of you guys or anything, but we bought that live here yesterday. We talked about it. I said, I'm buying more Cardano here. So it was 112, maybe it was 113, something like that. I think it was 112, but I think I got 113. To the upside there, it just ticked 195. So right there, that's 80% in one day. Thank you, Cardano.
All right, there's a couple of new listings. I mean, one we talked about yesterday, Squarespace. The Oprah Winfrey-backed Oatly is coming to market today, OTLY on the NASDAQ. We'll keep you updated on that if it does. Typically they don't, but if they do, start trading while we are still on. Squarespace, though, guys, it was pretty ugly yesterday. This thing got crashed, but we are starting to get back above some levels here. So 44.50. A bit of a level in the afternoon for SQSP.
Yeah, I mean, it got to that price right at the close and then dumped. I mean, it got to, like, 44.65. I think it just barely touched and then sort of dumped right into the close at 43. And there was also this huge flush out at 45 even. So that kind of puts that entire range as a go zone for me to the short side. Like it's at 44.65 into 45 even. So, I mean, obviously I'm going to have that. If it breaks 45, it's easy. I'm going to be out of it altogether. And then maybe we'll come back up. And look, if it does and you retest like a 48, something along those lines, that should be interesting. Now, you know, this is, they priced a 50 reference price, if I'm not mistaken, which was the exact top. I'm pretty sure I saw 50.01, if only because I triggered into a long position that I quickly lost 20 cents on. So I'm pretty sure about that. If it ever gets back up there, that's an all kinds of a fade. But I'm not really anticipating that happening. First thing, short in front of 45, but I'll wait until it gets past that 345, 345 at the time, that high there, which was at 44.64.
I wanted to put in I want to find out what was that open price supposed to be on?
The open was 48. The reference was 50. I'm pretty like
okay.
99%.
So all right. So I'm going to put in a bid. I'll go long some Oatly today. Anything backed by?
No. That's
Squarespace.
I'm talking
Squarespace. Oh yeah, sorry. Did we know what Oatly?
It's like 17 to 19.
Right, okay, I thought it was a little bit lower than that. Yeah. So this is what it looks like right now. Oatly today, OTLY, it's gonna come out. We have no idea when. We haven't had too much luck with some of these coming out on time today, but I am gonna put a market on, or a limit on open order out for Oatly today. It's not gonna be, look, the IPOs haven't been great. We've talked about those over and over again, but maybe worth something here in a day that I think is gonna be bullish. So let's see what Oatly does today on open, guys.
All right, let's talk about one of the little ones, bottom end of the watch list today, this VTGN. Baird analyst calling this stock significantly undervalued. It's a little biotech. This is a strong daily chart. It's not a weak stock. There's a very clear level at 2 on the daily chart. We're above that as well, but that pink line, 240. So 240 support, we're right there right now, 240 to 250. Watch that area this morning for support. Above that, 280 to 290 at the top end of the aftermarket range for VTGN, guys.
Yeah, and I'm actually playing, well, I mean, I think it has a chance at a bit of a breakup. When I see this post-market level that we got back into, the 65, and then we make a bit of a top off that level, I kind of always want to play the short into it. Now, I would have averaged in and taken shares at 62, 63 here, but that would have violated a rule of mine given the time of session going into that open, and especially considering the fact that on the daily chart, you do have all kinds of a decent support that it's trying to break out from here. But you look at a previous resistance level like that, 270, and then failing back through it, I'm going to want to short in front of that level if I can. And that's basically right here at that 270. So I got 59s to short. I would have liked to have had 62, 61, 62 as an average price, but I would have broken a rule about the timing of getting into it. Right now it's flat. I do have a bid in front of the low of the day. If it breaks that, then we'll look to see if it can't get back to like a 240. And then the stock actually has a ton of support if you look at that daily chart, so it would be worth a buy if it drifts too far. But for now, short in front of 270.
We're also, we just got into our favorite stock, Palantir. So right now we're long at 76. And again, I'm just playing this all the way back to 20. So I just looked at that again on a longer time frame. Here's a 20-minute chart. We're going to play this all the way back here to 20. So, you know, it'll be a loss if it goes down. So we'll wait to see. We'll average it in. We're going to take some shares. We won't, we'll average down to 2050 or so, and then we'll stop. And then if it wants to keep going down, we'll figure out what to do when it gets down here to 20. But again, I've noted the last couple of days, strong movements. I mean, you could see here, I mean, from this 1850 bottom where we last bought, we could see that again, so it's not like touting that position. But, you know, it's been strong all the way to the upside. This is a long-term build for me, so we'll wait to rock and roll with Palantir. Obviously, today we're scalping it, but I'm adding all dips for my longer-term trade on Palantir. And right now, some outs around 21 would be nice.
We have 2 minutes to go here as the bell's coming close. At the bottom of our list, PDS Biotech is up, immuno-oncology company, yada, yada. They did get, they added someone to an advisory board. So it's up 8% on the session. Now, this just happened where it broke, well, I wasn't really watching to see if it's an iceberg, but it has that same profile. This 635, 636 area does push all the way down into the pre-market low. So very, very quickly, I'm going to show you attempting to make a jailbreak through this 640 level up to like a 720. And that's why when you look at not really 640, but 635, that same level breaking to the downside. I'm going to like a short into that top. off the open. So if it pops in and cannot break through the high of the day, I'm looking for a reversal in that range on this PDSB.
There goes
Breaks the
Cisco.
low. I don't want to necessarily hit the bottom, guys, so I'm not going to short the low.
Okay, here goes Cisco, guys. Nice little move to the high side here. I was going to take this this out. We called the 50 long. We're long right now. It's at 20 cents in the money. Cisco, I just canceled that offer, though. Let's see if we can make it a little bit higher here, maybe 50-70 or so on a 50-50 break. So we're long Cisco, we're long AMD, and we're long Palantir to start. Those are just some basic ideas. I also went long Coinbase in my own account this morning. So we're happy. Ooh, yes. 231 we bought this morning and tweeted it out. That's the one thing that you're going to hear from me, guys. No problems tweeting out when I get into new positions. You saw me yesterday put my neck on the line with that Cardano, talk about that. And then here we go again with coin. I just made a buy there, 231. So let's see if that wants to rip itself up to the high side right now. Palantir, AMD, and Cisco. Let's see which one makes us the most money today.
Yeah, certainly. And watch a bit of a recovery here on Virgin Galactic. So I'm not averaging into it because we got about 30 seconds to go till the open. I got 74s. We did take some profit all the way through. If it pops up, I'm looking to see if it can fade off of the high of the day. So that'll be the first thing we try to see. You could get some similar action in that PDSB that we just mentioned. This is the opening bell, not at 9:08, but this is going to be it here. Miss V is going to be on. Oh, never mind. Oh my, I almost forgot. That's right, Maple Leafs versus Montreal
Leafs
today.
versus Canadiens
Let's go
today.
and ring that bell.
Hit that. Let's go.
I totally forgot. We
Go
actually
Leafs,
planned
go,
to do
baby.
that.
Let's go. Yeah, Leafs Canadians. There it is right there. Diamond Hands comes through with Cisco with a beautiful 80-cent win right there on CSCO. Let's ring the register. And by 80, I mean 70. There goes Cisco. Adios. What wins again? Sticky note wins again, guys. Look at that trade. $50 on Cisco. Let's go. AMD, 50 cents in the money as well. It's a good day today, guys, like we said.
Yeah, I took my Cisco out right on that like 51 play. Probably shouldn't have because my either attention had tended to Virgin Galactic popping off the top. I wanted to see if it made a run to that high. It just stalled out at that lower high at 21.25. So I'm going to see if I can't get now the average in or the more shares into the short side of the trade. If it breaks the high, fair enough, I'll get out of it. My first look was going to be a short Virgin Galactic all the way, and it's trying to make a break to that run right now. Back through 235 is Coinbase. We talked about buying that dip. I'm going to stick to that. 232 looks like the next best level after 230 has come and gone.
Yeah, let's go there. Good trade there on Cisco. Now we're going to watch our Palantir trade and see what that's going to do right now to the up or to the downside. There goes AMD as well. Man, this is a dap up kind of a day right here. AMD nicely long, 76.70. Out first spot, 77. Out second spot, 77.20. Now we're ripping to the high side right now. The only problem right now for me, and there isn't one, if I got 99 problems, stocks ain't one. Palantir right now looking to make moves. So we'll average into this one. This is not going to be a heavy position until we get down to 20, guys.
There it goes. So attempt at the high there. That's going to be on Virgin Galactic. I just got the last of my shares, so we'll get an average price of the quarters. Give it to that top. If it gets back into 21, I got to take some off for sure because this is looking rather strong. I'll get back over to, because I mentioned Cisco, but then didn't actually say anything. I got out in front of that 51. I was going to do 50-50, but it's so strong. It's pulling back in. 50-50 was a level when I looked in that daily chart, so I'm going to have to like it for a bit of a dip buy there at some point. There goes Virgin Galactic, so I said I had to get some out in front of 21. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we'll walk a little bit on water, but now I'm looking to play a couple of dips at the same time. Coinbase 232 and potentially Cisco at 50. You know what, I'll let it break 50-50 and wait around for like 50 and a quarter. Brennan?
One from the vaccine group popping up here early on. I thought I saw, I think Japan approved AstraZeneca's vaccine overnight. So a big pop here for AZN up to 57, guys. Decent volume off the open for AstraZeneca.
Attaboy, AZN, attaboy. Okay, so 50 cents now. AMD still running, but just trying to get going anyways. So we'll wait to see how high that one wants to fly. Our Palantir, like I said, we're waiting for this to go a little bit lower. We'll take some more at 50-ish, and then we'll see how it goes. But a nice move up for NASDAQ, starting the day off quite nicely, man. Cisco, great out there, in and out. You saw that trade. Now let's see what damage we can do on the high side. If there's any other names, I wanted to look at AMC at that 1280 level. It doesn't look like that wants to break right now. But coming upside, I still like 1280. Maybe we have to get a little bit different opinion on this one, as 1280 might not happen. That may be the top, but we're still looking for a break there for AMC. So we'll study that a little bit more.
Yeah, so finally do get that Coinbase. I mean, I was sitting in previously probably way too tight to that 232 level, so I stepped it up to like 65s and able to get that long trade in there. So we kept moving up our dip buy because, I mean, Coinbase kept going, obviously, but that kind of goes without saying. If we get back to like a 235, I look to take some profit there. Got to get over to Virgin Galactic. I said I would take some shares off and did so. Did about, well, it's down on the VWAP right now, but at that 21 level, we first got in to that short position. Going to take some off, lighten the load. Now we have left the shares we got at the top. I look back to that. It tried to break when I was originally short, that 2075. It tried to make 2050. It could not. So got to take some out in front of both the 75 and then that 2050 level once again, anticipating you could catch a bounce. So short into that move. Just got some Coinbase. I mean, we're trying to keep up here. Just got some Coinbase out to that upside on the way towards that 235. That's going to be 233.70. I would have liked closer to $1.50 with a better price close to 232. Instead, we get what we get because I had to pay up a little bit on that long.
Okay. Yeah, I see some people asking about AMD reload or let it be. Let's have a look at AMD there. So we're already out of 2/3 of our trade here. We still have some bottom sides there. It is coming back to the downside, which is kind of disturbing. Like I said, because of the NASDAQ, the move is so strong to the upside. AMD should be going now. So is this a reload spot? I mean, it shouldn't have failed there. So that's a problem for me. A reload spot on AMD, no. I'm going to say no on this one. Let's give it a little bit more room to the downside here. Maybe it has to test these pre-market bottoms before we reload anything. So that's 76.50-ish. Actually, sorry, what am I talking about? 76.30 yesterday's AMD. Yeah, 75. I mean, we could come back down into here. But let's take another little bit of a long at 76.50 and then see if it holds these pre-market lows of basically 76.25. But it's not looking strong, guys. You can see that.
Yeah, and like a virgin, short for the very first time. It's not the first time. It's like the third time I'm short Virgin Galactic. Here comes that 20 level very quickly. So I said I got to get some out in front of 2050. I said I'd look for a potential reverse at 2020. Sorry, 2020. At 20 even. That seems a little hairy right now if you're watching this trade. We waited for the open for it to push into that high of the day, and that's where we wanted to get in. And even still, I probably took my first shares too early, despite trying to be patient. We're about $1 in the money on the last of our entry point, and we'll look to see if I can't take that profit here. I can't think that there's going to be a decent or a chance at bouncing off of 20 even and then not cover in front of it. So I'll go ahead and do that. We'll be pretty happy with this one. The money's come in. If it bounces up again, I got to look towards that 21, maybe that 22.50. Sorry, 21.25 one more time here. And then here comes Coinbase dipping back. So we take some profit off. Now I want to be long in front of that 230 level. If I get a reload, I'll have to wait for that price.
Okay, Microsoft making moves up now. Yeah, good trade on space. Microsoft, I mean, the market's going upside right now, and I'm just stuck. I'm not stuck, but our Palantir, like, our average price now is 65. So we take a 75 and then a 55, giving us right in the middle here. So it needs to battle back a little bit. But this is kind of the levels. I mean, look, when you go long, you never want these things to drop down. But we did say we're not super heavy in this one. I want to see what it does at this 20 level. There's been days where Palantir's gone up, 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 and then we had a day like this where we thought it was about to go. This was the earnings, right? This day wasn't earnings, but it comes back down to 1850 2 days after earnings on that rip. So 804 there. We know this can come back down, but I have to look out for some of these levels, man. So 20 even, let's start to build it again, like 20, 30, 20.25 if it does come back to the downside. Those are the levels that we like here for Palantir. So I do have bids lower than this, like we talked about earlier on in the show. We do have that Oatly ready to go. No idea when that's going to come up. Give us something else, Brendo.
A little bit light on volume with this one, but Children's Place reported earnings better than expected. 52-week highs here, guys, for PLCE. Just broke 100 off the open there.
And we'll power up again, and another pre-market name here, and VTGN, which we did kind of talk about a couple times here. Second last on the watch list, but well, I'm not going to say first in our hearts because we're short the stock, so it can't really be first in my heart. It broke 250. I didn't add to it. I told you why I didn't average in. Obviously, that would have been the right call, but you follow your rules, and that's what we're going to do here. So I still just have the 58s to the short side. I look back towards that previous close at 230. I think that's going to be the jump-off point. I think that's going to be the termination point of any kind of a short move. It has some strong news, obviously. And I did say, look, I said I would try the long off of 20 on Virgin Galactic. So it got rather close to it. I'll zoom in so you can see better here. It got pretty close, just touched like 10s or so. I was able to get 13s on that bounce. Quickly scalped some out at 25. Thought maybe I'd be able to get the rest into the 50 range. I'm not even sure it's that strong today. So you might see me trying to reverse into a short and actually getting this off in front of 2040, because I'm not sure the long is going to be that strong on Virgin Galactic the way I'm seeing this price action. DoorDash, this will be a little bit of a frustrating one, because sometimes you'll have a plan of action and then Virgin Galactic's making some moves. My attention is going to be over there. It pops into the open, right into that high of the day, immediately fails like 50 cents above at that even 136, and then comes right back down. But as we anticipated, Brendan had told you guys that the range of the block that I think was Goldman, was Goldman or JP? I actually forget which one. Doesn't matter. The range of that block, it bounces right off of that price. So almost like anticipated, it only gives you that $2 range. Of course, there were stocks doing far better volume going into the open.
Okay, so new position alert here, so we'll hit the siren in a second when I find it. A Ford, so we did take Ford. We talked about it breaking these 65 levels, and I wanted it a little bit lower, so we did get patient here, and we waited. So we're long at 50 half there. We took some 51s, we took some 50s. I'm bidding a little bit lower, but I'm not gonna let this thing break this 45. So if it breaks through 45, I mean, maybe the bottom's gonna be 40 here. I'm wondering if I should sort of extend that out, but I wanna be right. So let's hopefully Ford can go now. We have a decent position. We talked about why we can ramp up our shares a little bit on Ford. So there it is. It tips out. There's that. I mean, we talked about 65 there being the high. So no surprise there. That's 68 right there. So let's see if it retests. But right now, Ford looking pretty good. Long at 50 half. We'll see about getting some out, maybe 55 even. And then we'll wait on a 60 print. So that's a good looking, not bad for us right now on Ford. AMD though, we can't look at the daily chart. That's right. I got to fix that still. AMD there makes a move down to 76.30. Those levels we talked about from yesterday on that bump. So we'll wait to see now if it can retrace back to the upside. We're long at 63. So now Ford trying to go, Palantir trying to go, and Ford and AMD. Those are the trades I got on right now, guys.
Oh, I knew there was going to be another short that was in there that we might have missed out on. And might is an understatement. Coles, yeah. So there was no pop. We thought there'd be at least a little bit of a bounce on what was, look, their earnings were strong. There wasn't too much that you could point to for negativity, but the market decides to sell it off anyways. Sometimes that's just the environment you're in, and there's retailers that the market likes a heck of a lot better. You can see that in the price action follow through in some versus others. If we get back to out of Virgin, Virgin Galactic just broke 20, so flat trade on the first half, we're able to take 10, 15 cents and then lose that on the way back in. So the short is the only way to go there. But it's Coles on any kind of a pop back into 55 that I want to see if I can't play here. Post market, at 54.66 is where it got to the low. If it breaks into that range, I'll short it in front of 55.
Yeah, I'm just getting some orders set up here for Ford in case it does go, because I just realized it just went to 55 and I didn't have an offer there, so that's stupid by me. Palantir goes right back into the money for us, guys, and I didn't even notice this. My money, my price is VWAP right now. So I wish it was a little bit better than that. We should have averaged a little more down here, but we were waiting for the 20s. So let's see if the NASDAQ keeps flying high. Remember, we have Palantir on watch at $20 flat. We also do now get into a small short of Virgin Galactic, because like Neil, the short was much better up here, but it does break that 20. So let's give it to 20.50 here. We're giving Virgin Galactic at least 60 cents worth of room on this pullback. And there goes Ford. Let's get a print now at 55. There it is. Bang! Yes, sir. Raining the money down. Let's go, man. This is the kind of day it is. There goes AMC as well, up 40 cents now. AMD with a nice little bid there. Let's go. Ripping to the new highs here. 77. Let's put another offer at 77, then let the rest go. What up, B?
Another one moving in the pre-market this morning. I saw this, but wasn't a lot of volume. CPSH, which is CPS Technologies, getting an order for armored panels from the U.S. Air Force for aircraft carriers. CPSH up 15%, guys. Just broke back below 7, though.
And speaking of breaking back below, coin has not. Someone asked, don't get stopped out, Neil. I'm actually bidding again in front of that 230 even area. Of course, and I actually tried the long, and of course, it was muted success, and I told you that, got some out, and then it broke. When it retakes 20 even, I'm getting into a new short position. I can't wait for 2050 if it's not going to come. But you guys are going right to the big screen. Miss V has something for us.
Hey Neil, IPOE is ripping. Do you guys consider trading SoFi today?
SoFi, a couple of days we've mentioned them, of course, and we've in the past I had a bit of a relationship with them. It's kind of hilarious because what their new I guess push was an app that allows you to get in early on some of these recent IPOs, which is probably the way to go. The way some of these have been moving. I think I talked about this level yesterday. Apologies, or correct me if I'm wrong. But I said there's a couple of levels here that you're pressing into where you could get a bit of a slowdown on IPOE at 1865, and then it's going to be again, obviously, in front of that 20 even. That goes without saying. So let's be a little bit cautious with this to that upside. I think trimming profits or taking profits when I'd be looking at a short. First at 65, and it never got there. It hasn't still gotten there. That's why I'm not even touching this particular trade. It's all about a day trade for me. If you sniff back into like 1785, maybe to that 18 range, I think maybe you can think about a bit of a termination of that move, at least a pullback, and then try and catch a bit of a bid there. But I'm looking at ripely at that 1865, and more importantly, that 20 level, which looks like a big one.
Oh, hell yeah, guys. We're going to go chicken dinner winners again today, guys. The only thing we're waiting for is Palantir to do something because everything else is rocking and rolling right now. Check out AMD. Like, again, if we don't plan this out, then, I mean, we don't have this win. So we look down, we get this 50, we talk about that. I was waiting a little bit lower, should have got some more long and near this bottom of 25, but we don't. That's okay. We now celebrate a 45-cent win. We've been cashing out of some of Ford here, 54s and 55s. We're still hella long this name, guys. I mean, I'm out of a quarter of it. So we're still hella long Ford, still looking for 60s. Let's see if it can come through. What's up, B?
Canadian Solar, CSIQ reported, it looks like pre-market this morning, but really wasn't doing much, as you can see in the pre-market, but wow, what a move. Straight to the upside, 9% for CSIQ, guys.
Okay, well, that's on the list. I mean,
Solar.
I didn't see that one coming. Yeah, so just I briefly mentioned Coinbase for a quick second there, and you'll see this is a short. I actually have a stop in place well below this 230 level. So, I mean, if it comes like pretty deep to the downside, I wanted some cover because I want to be bidding in front of it. So in order to put that bid in, I got to get rid of that order side. And if it breaks up here, obviously I'm not going to be getting more shares long. I mean, not going to get long in front of 231 if we make this 233 break. But if that goes, I feel we can get up to that 236 range. I'd probably move from buying 231s to buying in front of 233 and then trying to play this above the range. But for now, Coinbase is not doing a heck of a lot, so it's not scaring me on this long trade that we're sitting in here. I got 232.65 as the entry point. That again is Virgin Galactic, which there's the gates of hell. Hey, look at that. My charts, I got the wrong symbol in there, corrected it, and it didn't break. So that's actually a good sign for us here. Thank you, Juan. 1975 it just got to, so I did scalp a little bit out there. I think 19, and I talked about this a little bit earlier on. I mean, if it gets to this like 19, even down to like 1850, that's another zone that could be very, very interesting to me here, guys. So Virgin Galactic, tried a quick long trade. Obviously, that is a no-go. Let's get back into that short game because that's the only party in town.
Yeah, we're short that, and we just cash it out. You know, we're going both ways there. So we'll hit the cowbell, and we'll go up and down on Virgin Galactic. Let's see how far it goes. That's a smooth 20 cents for your boy right there as well. Okay, this is a good one too. Ford just took off a little bit there. 57s, 58s. We took both of those out. Again, now pretty happy. We still have more than half of this trade. There's another 58 out. So I'm waiting now for this high, 63, 64. Let's just make this day over the moon right now, guys. This is the kind of day it's been. So let's just keep going. Yesterday, I crushed yesterday. And then now today, we're going to hopefully get just even better movement on that one. Crypto not doing too much. Bitcoin just hovering around. So when that starts moving, we'll look at that as an indicator for maybe some of these other stocks like a Mara or like a Riot. I always go back to Mara because the price seems to be good, like $23, $24. Again, not really doing too much. That's that high yesterday of 24, I believe, anyways. We talked about that in the pre-market. No, was it 22 yesterday? Anyways, Mara right now making that move upside. Now, like, if you want to watch Bitcoin, these aren't bad names. But look what I said already. Go back to my note. I said the NASDAQ rebounds today. There it is, another 1.1%. We just got to get longer, more names, guys. We're short space. We're long Palantir, not moving. Wondering if that... Oh, man, my bid on Palantir is in the 20s. Damn it. I went down to 37 there. Let's pick some more up.
Exactly. I mean, you got to find the names you like. I know I got away from a DoorDash off at the open, and this was one we had a negative sentiment on. It makes the entirety of the range, just pulled right back in and tried to break 136 again. So this is now like the second or third time. I mean, depending on when you actually categorize this, technically the third time. It doesn't really make a difference. So anyways, I'm in short on the retake of 136 by DoorDash. My price is literally 97s. If it gets to the new high, which is 136 and a quarter, I'll just get out. If it wants to be range bound, let's see if I can't play that range. Brendan?
We mentioned that Sunrun in the pre-market ties to that Ford agreement. Sunrun just popping up here. 7.5% now, guys. Just took out that pre-market high there, 44.75 for Run.
Run, son, run. Okay, Ford, we're still looking at that. Oh, I wanted to look at AMC because we looked at that 1280 level and it actually went completely the other way. Those were not real. It didn't go down below $12, did it? No, I don't believe that that's going to be right. Let me just double check. Oh, it did. It did go. Oh, it went to 1203. So 12. Yeah, that's the bottom right there. So 1203 bottom. Wow, that's pretty nice, man. That 12 area. That's sort of where we kicked off some of these moves. That's where we stopped the day before or a couple weeks before on one of those runs. So back down to $12. That was exciting. That was probably worth picking up down there on some AMC. So just another look there on AMC. Should have been picked up downside at 12 on the daily chart, though. What is this break spot? 1225. That's not horrible on AMC. We can look at a 1225 break. I actually like that. Let's go long if we break through 1225. So very, very soon on AMC, we have a 12 bottom, so that's worth 25 cents to me. Let's go long AMC coming up right now again, guys. Hey, we're in the money everywhere. We just got to hope that Palantir can go. Let's take a 1225 long here. AMC, guys.
There you go. And we try and DoorDash, and look, you're going to have wins, you're going to have losses. We're going to show them all. Had I done this trade off of the open, or at least, not the first time, if I'd done this trade the second time, I do it the third time, it loses. So third time is not a charm, but it was a price I liked, and we talked about wanting to short that one in that price range. So we go ahead and do it, and it's not going to be a winning trade for us. So you usually, the third time through, everyone's looking at the same chart. It's a quick little learning lesson here. So the percentages to me aren't as high. You can size down, you can tighten your stop. I actually tighten the stop as my way of going in. Maybe I should have sized down. It doesn't matter. I got the last of my shares into Coinbase. My average price is like 55.5. So hopefully we can get that move back in. The market's still booming moving to the upside. I don't know about booming is the right word. Half a percent on the ES. Moving to the upside. Virgin Galactic is still moving to the downside. I still haven't gotten my out in front of that 1950. We'll look to see if we can't get that next couple of minutes and then press down towards 19. Brendan?
Good day for growth stocks. That means a good day for ARK. Guys, just popping up day highs on volume there through 106. So ARKK having a nice day so far.
All right, so we did average in. What just happened? Oh no, something. Oh man, yeah. So I did have a bid there. So there we go. We did take a bid. That's fine. 61's a nice bid there for 34 pennies on AMC on space there. So normally I'm long most things, but today we go short. This easy one, space. Bang, bang, bang. Nice little trade there, and we'll just hold the rest to see if we do break that 50. But so far so good. Nice positive day for me on SPCE. We did get out of AMD probably just before that. It broke 77, so we got out there at 95. So that's a nice win for us on AMD, man. It's been a good day for us on that one. Some great ideas so far today, man. Cisco, let's see where Cisco is actually. Now we check back in on an idea. This was that long, guys. 50, 12, 50. We wanted the 50 break, but as you and I, if you were watching us early, we missed that. We had to pay up, so we had to get 11s there. And then we got out at 75, like we always do, in front of those levels. We were going to take 50s, cancel. We should have waited for 51s, but that's a big time trade for me as well. Now there goes space, still moving to the downside. Palantir, we take that. It basically goes again back into the money for us on that fill, but it's struggling to go. This is not a good sign for Palantir today, guys. The market's up, Palantir's down. This is not the relationship that we've seen with Palantir over the last couple weeks, or last couple days, I should say. So no, I'm not going to be living this one down to the depths of hell. So we're going to get this until it goes to 20, and then we're going to get out at 20. So right now, good trade there. Ford, we're out of half. Did I hear Brendo?
Remember yesterday we were talking about JD.com off of earnings. Initial strength here. This is yesterday morning. Got up to 71 and change. Today, however, downgraded, but no problem. We're at 74.5, guys. Straight higher for JD.
Yeah, and we said don't sleep on the Chinese names, and then absolutely slept on them anyways, guys. But I did mention this one. We'll go PDSB. Brennan brought this to you as the last name on our watch list, believe it or not. Look, I said I liked it if it came back in and off of the open, tried to test back towards that high. It actually took a little bit. It's flushed to the downside, so of course I missed that short. But it comes right back, test towards that top. I'm able to get like 42. That's my lucky number. Down into VWAP 25s. If it comes back and tests higher, I got to think about the actual pre-market high at 665. It's kind of easy. Nice little stop placement at an ominous number at 666. But if it comes higher, I can't show 42s again. I got to get something in the 50 range. So there won't be an average in unless it's at a better price than what I got the first time through. So you got to keep that in mind. Virgin Galactic showing a little bit of strength here, and I say a little bit because it's just a little bit. Consolidating off of 1950 and trying to make a move up. I thought this would be 19 even where it would put this low in. That turns out not to be the case for now. If it bounces back into VWAP, I'll give it one more shot. I'll give it another shot, I should say, in front of 2050 to play that short. I still thought it had a deeper move into 19 where it would find some support. That hasn't happened just yet. And there was one trade, SQSP, and this is we show you the bungle sometimes too. Whoops. Squarespace was that direct listing. I know yesterday I said it was an IPO. That was my mistake. I wanted to short this one in front of that 45. Didn't get a full position into the short, so I ended up accidentally reversing to a long. I immediately punched it. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to bother with it. The spread was kind of big. The volume is piss poor at 280,000 shares, so I just covered and I'm walking away from this. It has to pop to like a 48 to get interesting to me. Brendan?
GSX Tech Education, which used to be symbol GSX. We mentioned a couple of weeks back, they were changing to GOTU. So if you look at GOTU, you can see just going back a week or so was the first day of trade. So this is actually that former GSX online education company. Straight higher so far this morning as well, guys.
So we got into, you hear the siren go off. That means good signs for us. Not good signs, it just means that we're in another position. And normally when we're in positions, we like them. So let's wait to see where this goes. This is AMC, a new one here, breaking through 25. So we have 26. We take the break print there on the 25 break. And remember, guys, you know, we're using stop orders. So I need to have that break and then bang, we get punched in right there at 26. So VWAP here at 30. If we could scalp out, 5 cents on 10% of it or something, just to pay for a little bit of fees here and whatnot, we'll get out of that at 30, and then target up for AMC. It's not going to seem like it's that long, but this pre-market bottom that broke isn't a horrible target. That's 40 if we can get there, and then we'll wait to see what happens on the upside. Of course, we're giving it back to 12. So, the risk reward not really great on this name. Just trying to play some momentum and see if we can't start the scalp game here on AMC. Would love for this thing to moon, guys. I know that's what a lot of you probably are hoping for as well, and it could go. So we want to definitely have some on board just in case AMC takes off. We can check in on GameStop as well. But right now, Ford, there we go. Ford. Okay, someone asked me, where's my price target on Ford? I told you 65s, right? So here we go. Let's wait to see. Again, that's just the day's high. Not only is it the day's high, well, the day's high is 68, but you get this target spot right here, 64 back on April 28th, 29th. So I'm going to start getting some out. We're getting very, very close to the price target. This is a big win for us, guys, man. P&L wise, probably the biggest trade for me today on Ford, guys. Good one, but we got to get it out if we're going to make any money, right?
That's right. You mean you never make any profit until you sell something, or I guess buy it back in case that you're short. Hopefully that'll be the case with Mosey, MOSY. This was one from yesterday, but also the afternoon show where we're trading a little bit here. It does gap to the downside after obviously a parabolic move up, but there was this lower high that it put in at one point at the close here. 535, 540 tested once, now tested twice. I'm going to be short in front of it. Give it a little bit of extra room, a couple extra pennies, because this stock can go from there. 580 and $7. I know it's kind of crazy, but I said this yesterday. $7 is a big level on this stock, so if it does continue higher, I do anticipate that could be a big one. I just finally got the fill in front of 1950 on Virgin Galactic, so I've got another leg out there. Hopefully that continues to flush. Brendo, what you got, bud?
Petco, guys, was on the watch list this morning. They reported earnings. Woof on the NASDAQ, down about 3%. Did make a nice bottom, though, down here at 24, so we're trying to get back through 25 on volume for Woof, guys.
Yeah, I noticed that BarkBox isn't doing much at all, so we'll wait for that one. I'm just tweeting this out because we are now long on this AMC, and we took a little bit of profit on that. So let's wait to see where it goes now. I gave you the price targets already, and there they are, right? So bang, out there at VWAP, out again at 35, out again at 39. So now we wait, man. I told you that 40 was a good out, right? So we'll take a 39. What the hell? So that's a good spot right there. So we're out of that. So far today, it's a perfecto kind of day for us on board right now. We're just waiting for Palantir. So perfect day goes, oh, my favorite game. Let's find that one. Yeah, it's Street Fighter 2. Last time I said Street Fighter, and someone said, you mean Street Fighter 2? Yes, of course I mean Street Fighter 2 with Ryu. There it is. So far, so good today. AMC could still fall down, but we are out of half of AMC. And there goes Ford. What did we just get there? 61s. Good trade. Let's wait to see if it goes higher and higher and higher, man. Ford, my biggest spot today, long 1250. We've been pumping this one for a while. So there goes Ford to the upside. Another great day for us. 9:57. It's only 27 minutes into the day, and we've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names, and they're all good. We just got to. We're not all good. We got to wait for Palantir to go. So we take another, as it's just getting lower and lower and lower. So maybe this one's not good, but again, we're not digging into this like we normally do. We've learned our lesson on this one. It's negative today into a strong NASDAQ. not a recipe for success on PLTR, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Find that relative strength and weakness. We'll go with the Wiz here, and the first entry into PDSB, we talked about it. We're going to get in front of that 645 area, right where it was clumped up in the pre-market. Once it bounces off VWAP, I said, check that, new price. We're going off the high of the day was 665, I mean 666. I just finished saying it's a fantastic little stop number. Well, I mean, or it's a bad stop number. Who knows? We get some out in front of 39s, and again at VWAP at 625. So you bank that profit. Now I'm hanging on to 656 here. If it does come down to 6 even, I like that to take some profit. It would be putting in a lower, a higher low. Almost said lower high. It would be putting in a higher low at that point. So I want to make sure that if I'm going against the grain, stock is up 9% on some good news on the watch list there. You guys can read about it. So I want to make sure that I have a defined out. Take profit, don't buck the trend too far, and don't fight the tape. Those are all things that I try to do when you're going against the grain. Speaking of against the grain, I moseyed along into that mosey position. Horrible pun intended, because it's mosey. I mean, what are you going to do? Finally get to it. That's amazing. I typed 3 times the incorrect symbol, and it did not crash on me. It tested right up to that 545, 550, did not break. As usual, I'm in a little bit early on this one. I did the same thing yesterday in the close. I'm going to adjust the way I get into position on this particular stock. Cannot even break down to VWAP where I take first target and then $5. Sort of the same thing here that I was doing over in PDSB, only PDSB is already successful. And it's already 10 o'clock. Let's go to Brennan for happening now.
Hey guys, yeah, let's jump into North American markets here. We'll check out what is happening so far. Definitely positive on the day. It is the NASDAQ. You can see both the 100 and the composite leading. Nice to see tech stocks back in charge. S&P 500, 0.5%. The Dow down here only 0.2. So holding on to positive territory. Here in Toronto, the TSX 0.2 as well. The Russell small cap negative already. Down in Brazil, they're also negative on the morning. Let's have a look at a few things we were talking about. Just mentioned this, but Wolf on the watch list this morning, back above 2450, or trying to get back above 2450. You can see the volume that came in. This is why it popped to my attention. Big volume spike as we headed back towards that 25 area, I guess it is, not 2450, I should say. Still negative on the overall session, though. Let's try, and there we go. Flip over to Tesla as well. Yeah, we did hold those gains, so a nice look for Tesla. I was wondering if we were going to try and test down towards where we were yesterday, but day highs, in fact, guys, on Tesla right now. Back to you.
Talked about taking that break, but of 40.50 or 5.50 or so, whatever that was. No, 5.75 was the break there. We'll look at Tesla in a minute, but I'm a little bit more worried about catching the money that we already have in our pocket, and that is Ford, man. We just got out 68s there. Like, what a run that was. Thanks for asking about the price target on Ford. We're dead wrong. We're dead long at 50, and we ain't wrong at all as that goes to 68. Our target's right here at 65, so we're almost out of everything. I do still have about 20% of this position on board still. So, but whatever, we hit our price target, so that's why we empty some out up there on the upside. And again, it's been such a big day. Like we've been getting out, look at that, out on AMC as well. We gave you that target as well of 40, like can't do any better on these. But what we're trying to do now is just, lick our wounds. And I'm virtually at the highest spot I've been at all day. So there's not too many wounds here, but I'm going to be giving up on Palantir. What a great move for NASDAQ. We really are catching a lot of money here in the market, man. I've been going long on a lot of these names recently, and it's been a big success. So Palantir, nice one. AMD, let's check back in on that. Good outs on AMD. Like, we're really happy with the way this one took it early, got out, let it reload, and we said, we're reloaded. I don't know where that one is, but there it is. We'll hit this one. One of my favorite non-animations that we have right there. So nice one to the upside there. AMD, maybe a reload spot, but again, nah. I'm long so many things right now. Let's wait to see. Virgin Galactic also working out beautifully for us. We're still short there, so we're going long and short today, man. Virgin Galactic was an easy one. We talked about that in the pre-market when I was analyzing, and I was like, why the hell is this thing up 22% on a planned mission? So we'll see. But anyways, good move there. Palantir, we're looking to reload that one to the backside. And let's just keep getting out some. I'm still long some Ford, but that may be a good spot right here. We already got some out 68. Let's get some more now, 66, 67.
I'm going to do the arrows up, and look, I mean, celebrate that 1950. I still actually am holding on to some, but it's basically like 10% of the position on Virgin Galactic left after that 1950 bounce. But I just covered the first of this little bounce in front of VWAP on Coinbase, and it tried to break. I mean, it's kind of funny because you guys can see my stop order on the chart there before. We still like it to the long side, but it's having some trouble getting past this like 31, 32 range. If it does, when there was that 233 level, remember I talked about it when we did that first little dip buy, it just couldn't make the break. I'll take some out in front of that as well, and if it breaks that price, look to reassess where I'm going to be a buyer of Coinbase. For now, I think I'm buying it in that 29 to 30 range instead of above that 30s, and then we'll play into VWAP, and hopefully we get that 233 break and can march even higher. I definitely like it. The only thing, I mean, look, I'm not ignoring VTGN, fine, it's sliding in the money for me. PDSB's already worked. The one that's going to be of concern, which is usually what I'm going to end up talking about here, is that Mosey. So anyone that's bullish on this name, I already said very, very quickly and not under my breath, but very, very quickly, it's like, why do I get in so early, that 25, first consolidation, when really you're looking back to those levels from yesterday's price action. You're letting it spike up, and this should be the only entry that I have. Now, I will not let that change where my outs are going to be in front of VWAP. I got to do that, take half off in front of VWAP, try to get the rest out in front of that $5. It doesn't matter. You bungle the entry point, levels are the levels. The market doesn't care what price you have. It doesn't give a rat's rat's ass what price you have. It's going to play off the levels. It's going to play off supply and demand, because that's just how things work, guys. Back to another one, and well, I mean, oh, come on, load up. NIO, I don't know if you mentioned, oh, is that the first crash of the day? No, it's not.
I didn't mention it yet.
So, I don't know if you mentioned NEO here, if this will load. There we go. It finally did. This was a heck of a dip off of the open. I'm kind of, I don't know. If NEO was on the front of the radar, it obviously was. Let's be honest, guys. You look at these like 7 a.m. ramp up prices, and it was like 33.65 that it broke out, and then 33.65 on a dip. So it's one of those, just file it away. If you see a strong stock, and NEO's been pretty strong, holding a 32.50 yesterday for in the aftermarket. Sean, you pointed that one out. I wrote it down. It never tested that level, but it gave you that 7 a.m. ramp and then a dip buy right into that same price. Those are good setups. Got to have them when they're there.
Yeah, for sure. We're trading around here, guys. We're trying to find some key levels on some of these names. Palantir battled back, not just as expected, but we are expecting some nice moves here for PLTR. So we're getting those right now. Back, am I on the right side? Yeah, 2048 right now. So Palantir, a good little spot for me here on this name. So let's wait to see where it wants to go from here. But Palantir, nice upside for now. We are negative on the stock because you heard me talk about that. We did get some out on Palantir. So we'll wait to see where it goes now. But 48, I mean, our average price is really, in the 60s. But we took some out there, so we minimized some of the damage. It's coming right back up to VWAP. That's, I mean, to me, let's see if we get an offer. We'll put an offer out there and get out now on some Palantirs. This one's battled right back. This has to go up a little bit more, and then there it is. Nice little out at 50. Let's go Palantir. Here we go, man. Now we're getting serious. Nice little space win as well. 50 cents in the money. We're trying to go perfect. Perfect doesn't matter. Like, those numbers don't mean anything at the end of the day. It's just all about your P&L. So that's why we're trying to do the best thing that we can here on this trade. Space rejecting 50 a couple times here. Let's wait to see what it does. I'm still holding that one.
Yeah, and I mean, sometimes we get ideas, and my 15, it does load up. There we go. I'll pull this back because I have to go a little bit further back to, and we talked about this with gold and some of the metals and the inflation talk and some of the metals pulling back in, and U.S. Steel. There it is. I'm done buying this stock. I've been trimming the entire way, and I said it's probably not a bad place if you haven't already. To make some of that profit. 20 is a great level on U.S. Steel. It's not there yet, but why would you wait all the way till it gets to the price where you might want to buy again to take any profit? It makes no sense to me. Brendan has a name for us. What's going on, B?
Another one that reported earnings. In fact, BJ Wholesale, BJ in New York, down was 10% moments ago, trying to hold 43.5 here. Big levels on the daily chart, but earnings not great for BJ Wholesale, guys.
Yep. Sorry, I was just looking. I was just typing away there. I mean, sometimes I tweet in the middle of the show. Okay, Ford 1265 again. Out. I'm absolutely in love with this trade. To be honest with you guys, I'm really happy with this way this Ford trade panned out. You guys know I've been pounding the pavement on Ford. We didn't trade it yesterday because I felt like it wasn't at good levels. But that's why you got to come back and you got to watch the show, man, as much as you can, because on any given day, just like any given Sunday, man, these stocks can go and you got to be on on the right names at the right time. I can't be more pleased with the sticky note today. So guys, please share that. Like, I'd like to get like 100 likes on this. You know, we need to be motivated to do these things. So let's do that. This is completely for free, all of these trades. So let's just keep on working it, man. Pinterest back to $60. That could be a name we look at. My AMC, okay, flat right now. So AMC, we've already cashed out. It's been a big trade for me today, but we're just bouncing around this VWAP. So that's why we did get some out at 29. We're long 26. And now it's just dancing. I may just get out of this one. The momentum didn't help it go to the upside. So whenever I look at that, we kind of say, you know what, let's just get out and hold a very, very small amount of AMC now and just make sure that we don't put our winning trades into losing trades, right? This comes back down to 12. I will lose. I still have 30% of this. So that's sort of how my mind works. So let's get out and hold 10% so that we don't have to worry about anything on the downside here. That is AMC, guys.
So I was just busy loading up pay for shorts on Oatly, and it's not that I want to trade it to the short side. It's just I like to have the flexibility if I can to go in either direction and not be married to one end. There was a retest of the high in MOS in Mosey. If it had actually broken, obviously I'd be out. But if I'd taken any profit out, and this is one of those things, I would have been adding back in that range. But because I have not been hit even once on the bid, I can't do that. I'm not going to add to the risk on the only trade that doesn't look like it's working to the short side for me. Virgin Galactic, just I think definitively now, well, I shouldn't say that because I'm probably jinxing it, trying to definitively take that 1950 level and next stop down. I mean, obviously 19's around level, but in terms of real support that you've seen in the pre-market, you're looking at like an 1850, 1860. So the sell-off continues on Virgin Galactic. It is not over. Haven't made a single trade in Tesla yet, which is kind of crazy. So let's see what happens. I mean, I wanted only to buy the dip on Tesla, if I can even spell, but it's given me no opportunity to do so because it only keeps running. There was an unclean like 575 break. The next thing I'll look for is, hey, maybe it gives you that patented like pullback into VWAP. So let's look for like a 76 level. Coinbase is trying to break downside here, guys. So there was support right at 227.50, guys. We're at $1 away from that. This is what I'm trying not to give up the ghost on. So we're in at 30s. We're trying to give it a couple of dollars here, but you know, I always have to have a stop. I'm not letting it take out that pre-market low. That's just the way I trade. If it dips even further, I'll look for a better price long somewhere way down the line. But I want to see if I can't get Tesla. It's consolidating, so it might give me a pullback here. Got to be on the bid in anticipation.
Yeah, Tesla's a solid play. I'm not really long. I mean, I'm waiting for Palantir. We just took out a little bit more Ford as it does come to 60 there. So you guys know how much we like dime pieces around here. So that's another one right there. We put that in our pocket on Ford. That's a dime. So we'll wait for that. We did get out some AMC right there for flat. Now we're just holding a little bit left. It's not much. It's 20% left on this trade. As you can probably see, there's probably 8 outs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, we got out more up here. So anyways, we have 20% left. We'll wait. I mean, once it comes to your target, that's kind of where you got to take out a little more shares than maybe even you're comfortable with. So, you know, we do that. And do we want AMC to moon? Yes. So we'll hold that little last bit. We'll see if it can come back up here. I'll take out another 10% here if it can come 37, 38. I mean, 35 is fine too. We'll get out there for a 10-piecer again, and then we'll hold the rest for upside. So right now, a little bit of knowledge there on AMC and what my strategy is for that trade as we are out of Virgin Galactic. I want to hit the register on that one. So that one right there, again, we'll hit the cowbell. I mean, my only short of the day right now is a cash money one all the way to the downside. Nice trade there on Virgin. What's up, Brendo?
One from last week, if you remember, IHT In Suites Hospitality Trust. Just popping up here on volume, guys. Back to 7. If you remember, this thing got up to 9 going back to last week, as I mentioned. But volume coming in here for IHT once again.
There we go. And we're not going to look at gift horse in the mouth because it's an ugly thing. You don't want to do that. And talked about that VWAP on Mosey. So we get the first leg. We just got 21s out. If it breaches this, I mean, pre-market highs was at 18. We'll get some out there. And I got bids all the way down to like 5 even or so. This puts me in a position that if we want to retest the high, this was so range bound in the, I mean, not just the afternoon. This is basically so range bound all day long that if you weren't retesting some of the levels, and again, like if you were shorting some of these in the morning, you would have gotten like a short here at about 5:30, make some profit, you get back in, make some profit, get back in the afternoon. So I want to make sure I take advantage of that. If it pops back up, I want to short more shares. This time, a little bit closer to that 550 and not 20 pennies away.
Yep. Look, I mean, right now I'm watching different names here bumping around a little bit. I'd like to get more. I mean, if AMD can come back down, it's sort of shown itself a couple times here to 76.30 and change. The Nasdaq's holding up super well today, so we're going to wait for that one to see. Oh, there it is. Okay, AMC, I see you. There it is, just as planned, man. So I will hit the sirens for good execution, I guess, on that one. AMC right to the upside. We got a little bit nervous there. We didn't want this thing to fall back down off of that I don't want to say rejection, but we didn't break that pre-market bottom there back to the upside, which sort of started this move to the downside there. Like it bounced around, it thought about breaking, it didn't, it retraced back to 50, then it hits 50 and starts to move downside. So that's a good out right there. Like that, the best out I could get probably is 38 or 39, and we actually got those today. So happy with this long. I mean, there's no other longs all day. I mean, if you got it 12, that's great. I missed that one, so I can't really, I can't be mad at myself for missing that, but right there, AMC, a good trade and a good out. Now we hold that 10%, so we wash our hands with that one and just say, good idea, because it didn't go as much as we thought, but a win is a win is a win, and we're happy with it. So let's do that. Tesla was the one where I looked at that 575. Obviously now it's way above that, but 575, we called that the other day. I'll show it to you why. We like that because it was the bottom the other day. Right now, it was right in here, right here, 575. So we go through yesterday. Obviously, yesterday was a down day. And then right in here is 575. So that should have been taken for a long. It's back to 581. Maybe if Tesla comes back, then that's not a horrible idea to talk about a 575 long. It's, we're just about an hour and 10 minutes away from pineapple pizza time. So it's almost Hawaiian pizza time. I'm very, very excited for that. We're excited for profits, but it's not going to taste like this, Neil. It's going to taste a little bit different. This is mac and cheesy. But yeah, that was easy yesterday.
That's actually good.
Yeah, that is good.
Cheese is
I like
good. I mean, I don't know. I'm taking a fantastic day and then ruining it by reminding me that I have to do this. But look, it's all in good fun, and I said I would do it, and unfortunately, this is my canvas. Whatever. I'm not going to give someone wanted some lyrics from J. Cole, but that was too easy. I got to get something a little bit harder. I almost dropped something from Apparently, which is like one of his better songs. I'll dig a little bit deeper the next time I do it, because I got in trouble by picking something too easy. It's not to say that this was easy, because I don't have a short in Coles today. This is me sitting looking for a pullback into 55, which obviously is not happening anytime soon. And Cole's at 52.50. So, I mean, we talked about some levels, and 52.50 was the flush out bottom on March 25. And that's exactly where we've gotten to here. So I come kicking myself that it made its way down without me finding any kind of a long trade. Picking a bottom is kind of a perilous thing to do, but you get a level like that, well, whatever. I'll try a shot at a 53 breakout in Coles. This is where I thought support might be. I thought I'd have at least one or two cracks at a short going into it. That clearly has not happened, but you got to move on to the next setup, right? You can't sit there, don't cry over spilt milk, or if you do, don't do it for too long and get right back on the horse and find the next trade. I'll try a 53 break on Coles. I wanted to be short this name, but it's already made it to that first support level, which in the pre-market was $5 away. I should have had something.
Okay, I think they want the J. Cole because of Coles, right?
Was that why? I gotta go deeper than one of his better songs.
I think that would make sense. So we're gonna wait on that one. Some J. Cole lines coming for you guys soon. Just looking at some of these trades again. Ford, we're looking at that name once again. We've been doing a little bit of work on that so far today. Palantir. I'm just debating right now, just getting into this again somewhere, and I just don't know where. We got out at VWAP there for saving, the trade basically, and now I think that we should be putting some bids here, 35s and 30s, and just wait to see. But I'm still not in love with the action that we're seeing here on this name. So I don't really know about this trade for Palantir, but we'll wait on it. I'll still pick up some bottoms in case it does want to go. This is a scary one because I want to get out because it's been weak, but at the same time, I know how this can turn. So that's why I'm looking for right here, 2060 to go long again on this. So we'll get some more bids down in the low side, and I want to buy this 2060 on Palantir if it breaks it, because it just needs to think about it. And if it thinks about going, then I know it has the power to do that. So let's wait. We're going to bid some more in the 30s, low side 30s, and then we'll hold it out, because ultimately my target for this trade is going to be that 20 even and where to get out. So I don't want to dig in here because that'll be too big of a hit. So we'll wait on that one. But that is our friend Palantir right now, looking to make some moves, but right now kind of sleepy time on this name, and I don't know why. So let's wait for it, but I'll pick up some more if it does dip again.
Speaking of dip, we saw we saw Lordstown dip a little bit in the pre-market. This is another name that just continues to get punched. I mean, it wasn't front of the radar, but it should have been, obviously should have been. You can kind of talk about that here. As it does pull back, you are looking at trying to hold like an 875 at some point, and that's going to be a little bit further away, but these are two big gaps before you get into these prices, right? You have this. I mean, this is like a God mode long at like a 940. So anytime you get a level like that, you're probably looking to see if you can't defend it, like 40 cents away from that. So as much as I did take calls here, 53, what did I get? Like 53.01 to the long side, the low of the day, and that level I talked about was 52.50. Low of the day is 52.70. Similar thing could happen here on Lordstown, where if it manages to hold that 950, you get like some nice little scalp trading to 10. If it breaks that lower, I'm looking like probably 850 to 875. Lordstown, that is a pullback worthy. I mean, 1-2 now triple top in the pre-market. That's an unbelievable pullback off of like a 1155 level. Check that. Coinbase. I don't know. If it's going to be a sleeper, it's going to be a sleeper. We've got the long position on, and this is kind of like you get the flush out bottom, obviously. You get the recovery, holding this 220, it was 227 to 229, and before pulling back in the afternoon. Trying to now hold that same 227. I have 30s. I got a bid down below that 29s. I missed it the first time trying to catch it on the way up. This time I'll actually take it on the way down. If we can break through, I mean, this is where we got to here, this 237. That's a big time floor that got put in. Once you push through there, I want to have something on board for the 40 to 50 range if it gets back into that chop zone. I don't think it'll extend through that price necessarily, but I think once it gets there, you're able to take some profit out in front of it. So I'm taking that long. I think I might be in this trade for, as long as we hold 27s, I'm probably in it for the long haul, certainly holding through a break at the top of the day, but I will take some profit out on the way to 37, reckless not to. Brendo, what's up? Small cap recap.
That said Sector Watch, but we'll talk about small caps instead, guys. One of the quietest days I can remember as far as small caps are concerned. We'll talk about a couple of them here. PDSB, one of the ones that was up in the pre-market here. This is another one that was, if you go to the daily chart, bit of a mess on the daily chart, but it was kind of gapping above some support levels. So I was kind of thinking long on this. Tried this initially down to 6, got stopped out, but right back in. So 6 to this kind of initial support on the first trade. Now I'm still holding some, trying to take out the top. On the long side for PDSB, there we go, just taking out the top as we speak. SNCY, small cap airline that popped up in the pre-market as well. This one got up to it was 35.85, 35.90 was a bit of a range in late in the day yesterday. So I just took that break above that consolidation initially on volume there through 36 for SNCY. VTGN really hasn't done anything. Volume's terrible on that stock, just kind of chopping around. So pretty quiet day so far, guys, on the small cap world.
I was up on that. I mean, look, I'm actually still up on PDSB, but this is. Brendan just talked about it breaking the high. I know he went long. I shorted it, took profit in VWAP, shorted again off the high, took profit in VWAP. It breaks the high, gets stopped out. The timing was rather hilarious there. So, I mean, sitting in the long and having it break the top, well, he's giving you the live update away from his desk. I mean, Brendan's doing it all over there, guys. So there you go. That's what it's all about. The dip buy in Tesla, I'm going to go quickly cover that because it's not happening. Well, it didn't happen, I should say. I'm going to adjust. There we go. Cancel that bid there. Look, if it comes back down, I mean, obviously VWAP is a moving target, so I want to be nimble here. It's continuing to break up. I got no long in that particular. I mean, Coinbase is now, look, it's $1 or so on the money. I already scalped that much off, so I'm looking for a bit of a bigger push. If it gets to that 2.5 range, I'll take a little bit more out. Gets to 35s, I'll take a little bit more out, and then try to hold the rest for a bigger move. Tesla. I mean, if I was long, that'd be the plan, but I'm not. So I'm going to look for maybe like a 78, 79 on a pullback. If 58 is the level that we think it could be, 58. If 585 is a level like the even dollar that we think it could be, maybe that's going to be the turnaround that we've been looking for. Let's mosey along back over to MOSY, which I said it could get range bound. Of course, it's going to put in a lower high. I mean, I actually thought that PDSB was going to be better than Mosey. But we'll see what happens. If it gets down to VWAP again, I'd be crazy not to take some in. I tried to get more shares to the short side when it just popped back up. I'll go ahead and cancel that. It never really got to my offer here at 37. So we'll get rid of that one. Maybe take a few more shares out in front of like 21s or 22s or so. Hop on the bid here at 22s. And then if it breaks VWAP, we can see if we can't get out. You can see my bids down there to 50s. Of course I had to take Coles long, right? I mean, we miss out on the short. I mean, I can celebrate the fill that I'm going to get in Mosey for the winner. But try to bottom pick Coles. 52.50, about to break. The weakest stock, I shouldn't say that. There's probably something that's actually weaker than Coles. I haven't found it yet, but I'm long the weakest stock. Thankfully, I'm not going to give it any more room, and I'm not going to average it.
The weakest link, Coles. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that yesterday on that name, and we looked at lows yesterday, and this is why we stayed away from Coles today. We talked about it in the pre-market, some of those levels that we were looking at, and it was, breaking lower here. And I said that we had snapped this. Now we have to, but I mean, I didn't expect this move. That was a great short through 54. It should have been had, but again, just missed, but that's okay. That's a good trade there on Coles. Thanks for bringing that one up. Coinbase, we can have a quick look there as I went longer right here in my portfolio earlier on this today. So Coinbase does have a nice little fallback to the downside. Its high is only 238, low 226. That's the daily chart. We don't really care too much about that. But right now it just breaks through VWAP. Nice move to the upside now, Coinbase. We could see if it holds this, but it's still pretty negative, Coinbase, right? So 233 to the upside. We'll take a break there on 233 Coinbase. Let's see if we can make a little bit of money on that. 233 break long on Coinbase. We'll take it. I still can't believe, again, sometimes we short, sometimes we don't, but we'll put space in the gates of hell. Like, I have the bottom wick on space today. So, good move there. This out is 1932 on this name today. So the bottom of the day today, 1930. So nice trade there. We're out, we're flat, we're done with Virgin Galactic. So that's a good trade for us. And the only short that we did have, AMD, we're unable to get more into that name right now. I would love to if it came back down, but who knows if that's going to happen. Palantir still doing absolutely nothing. And then Cisco right now, what a great long that was. Again, everything right off this, man. Find the sticky note. I'll put the link up again. We're going to need to get 100 likes or these may stop. That is the sticky note right now. I'll put it back into the chat. Watch it, see it. If you like it, follow me daily and we'll get there. But Cisco right now, nice move to the upside. Just wish we would have held that one.
Yeah, and sort of speaking of Coinbase, it's good timing. It's like someone says the stock's name, not 3 times like the Candyman, but 1 time when we get a fill. So, I kind of said I was going to get some shares out in front of that 233, so we go ahead and do that. I still want to be buying the dip, but of course I can probably cancel this one because not necessarily going to get southbound of 229 here. I got an offer in front of 35, like we said, then we're holding through. See if we can't break that 240. I'll look for dip buys along the way, but Coinbase has been a good one. Coles is a stinker. And Mosey, we're going to go Brendan. We'll come back. Mosey finally starting to work. What's up, Brendan?
Chinese real estate stock I saw was moving around in the pre-market here. This BEKE was down significantly on earnings. Looks like their chairman sadly passed away as well. But trying to get back to the upside here. Just broke through this 48 kind of pivot on volume at 49 now. But this was up at 51 yesterday for BEKE on earnings, guys.
Okay, I'm still waiting for that. Neil's long Coinbase already, so we don't need to really worry too much about that. We got out of Ford, man. Ford came all the way back in, so as you can see, a few outs here happening for me on Ford right here. 1154, 1155, so we did get out. We're long at 1150. This could be a reload spot right now. I just don't know why. This is the thing. I don't like to reload every single trade that we take, guys. So you have to be patient sometimes with these names. I do have a bid lower. If it does, I thought maybe it was going to crack 50 there. Damn it. Okay, so that's a mistake by me. I was going to say I thought 50 would crack, and then we may get some lower bids. So, a little bit selfish there, waiting for a better price on Ford, but we could have reloaded the exact same price. We don't, and we missed that, but we'll wait. Again, see how that didn't go? So I'm going to stick to my plan, so I'm not going to be too upset. We're going to see if we can get some lower bids on Ford right now. We're out. I'm holding 10% of the trade. So Ford, we're out. We cashed out a lot up here. When I was asked about my targets, it was 65. So when that happens, we ring the Reggie on that one. But everything else, all good. AMC, we're still waiting for that moonshot too, possibly. Now 7 cents in the money. That's not a moonshot, so we got to wait for that.
And we'll do this, because I found it on the board. I actually do have this one. It's just on a page that I don't really use very often. I should change that. Yeah, whatever. Yes, sure, it's pizza day today. That's all I'm going to say. we can celebrate at least a little bit going into that. I'll be a little more happy that MOSY is going to work. So muted. I'd say mixed results trading this one in yesterday's action. Had some wins, some losses. Basically overall closer to flat than anything else. And I still got in too early. I'll double down, triple down on the truth of that fact at 525 when you got to wait for that top. And I'm going to miss out on this as well. But it breaks VWAP, gets them out. I I had the bids just sitting there. So it flushes down to 510. I get almost all of them into 5 even. And now we're coming back in. Now, I'm not getting in unless it's going to be that 35 to 45-ish range off the high of the day here. So I'll let this one press. The more it tests that high, the better price you want going into it, more likelihood you could get stopped out if that's your plan. I don't, I take these stops through those highs. It's not as if I'm sitting there like trying to hero the trade and average in when it breaks the top and just say, no, you're not going any further. If it wants to go, it wants to go, and I'm not going to fight the tape too far there. I am going to go back. Oh, you know what? It's actually getting there right now. So let's see if we can't get some shares. There's 43s. Just throw an offer in there. That's close enough. Did I even get the fill? There we go. Give it to me. 43s, we just finally got it. If we break that top at like 550, we'll be out. 45 is too obvious. Oh, sorry. 545. I misread the tape. This is 545 the top. So that's me getting stopped out. It's not at 550. One time good. Second time not a charm. Will there be a third time in Mosey? History tells me probably yes, so I can't even say no.
Okay, oops, that was the wrong chat. Right now, Palantir, we did get that bid down there, so we did get some 36s. So now we actually have the most shares we've had on Palantir today right now. So we'll wait to see on that one. $20.36. I did want to bring it to everyone's attention. Thank you so much. We will continue, man. 126 likes and 12 retweets. So thank you so much for this. So you guys like the sticky note? That's obvious, so we'll keep doing it. Thank you so much for that one. Now we'll wait. Palantir, we're loaded, so now we'll wait to see. We're long at 38s here, guys, so the day's going to get bigger and better if this can fly. So right now we're waiting on that one, but that's Palantir looking for some upside moves here. We're waiting for VWAP there, and then even higher, guys. So if that goes, man, we're going to get ready to go and be pretty excited about that. Did I just get out of something? Oh, shoot. AMC. Let's go, AMC. Right back to its spot. We held this one. I was like, what the hell just happened? We get out of our AMC. Look, if it moons, it moons. Great. I'm happy for everybody. But that's a scalp. Bang, bang, bang. We're trying to keep this day perfect. Not that that matters, but we'll wait to see if it can go even higher than that. New position alert. So this one could be a problem. We'll wait to see if it is. But Coinbase, through 233. That was the trade that we liked. We'll hold it back to probably about VWAP right now. Let's see if this one wants to go. But whatever, that's Coinbase. I'm most excited about Palantir. Let's keep going to the upside. We're 8 cents in the money. May take some out, but we're still waiting for that VWAP, guys.
And sometimes, I'm literally about to tweet this out, and I say it all the time, sometimes your best trade is not your most winning trade, or it's a stock you made the most money on, but it's sticking to your PDSB. I mean, of course, Brendan had to jinx it, by the way. Broke the top. I got out. I mean, we took profits when it got to VWAP, and that's why if you're counter trend, you do it. But I'm pretty sure I saw Brendo to the long side of that trade. That just got up to 727 on the top. I was about to throw in the chat, this thing could halt. And then, of course, it made a bit of a reversal there. So, obviously, if it goes too far too fast, they have circuit breaker rules. But this is the top here. And without even checking, you can roll the tape back. I know Brendan gave you that top at 730 on the daily chart. 727 is where it went to on that spike. 730 on the daily, 727. Brendan had, whatever. I should have gone long myself on that top end break. It's starting to come back in, so it looks like it's rejecting that level. I think if it does, so if it had halted past that price, the jailbreak could have been on. But a rejection at that particular level usually means that you're going to get a significant pullback. I mean, holding below 7 would maybe put me back on the bearish train here, but I'm going to stay away from it till it actually calms down. So big move at PDSB. Did not quite halt. Coin, let's go through that 233. That's a key, look, it's a key level. I mean, you break here, I think you're going to get, obviously I think you're going to get 235 because I'm sitting in front of it. And once it broke, I said I'd step up where I wanted to buy the dip. But it has not held a bit above it, and this is what I mean by holding a bit. Whoops, this still happens, so I need to fix that problem where whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's a P per weight thing. I need a bid to hold above. So it can open the offer 233, 15s, 20s, or whatnot. But if the bid doesn't follow through with people bidding to buy above 233, then it's not really a big time breakout just yet. Although Coinbase is making nice moves off the low of the day, and I'm liking the trend. Brendan?
All right, stick around, guys. Coming up in just a little bit, about 45 minutes. Speaking of cryptos, yeah, Coinbase Venture is going to swing by, talk about some investment opportunities they have found in the crypto markets. Going to be an interesting conversation with Coinbase coming up at 11:15. Make sure you stick around for that. Meanwhile, it's 10:30. That means there's 1 hour left in the session over in Europe. Let's get a check on how European markets are faring today. Miss V, what's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are back to the positive territory. Deutsche Telekom is up around 2% after raising its medium-term core profit outlook. Back to you.
Yeah, finally, a bit of a bounce back day for everything, it looks like, guys.
Yeah, crypto's trying to go as well. Bitcoin trying to battle back here. We'll see if it can go upside on any of these moves. But downside seems like my Palantir here just doesn't really want to go, guys. So, we're debating not debating. I do have offers out now, right here, 38s. There we go. So we're getting out. I mean, we're long here at 37. Believe me, I don't want to get out here. There's no doubt about that, but there we go. So, 30, do I have a 39? No, I'm waiting for a 40 print there. We're just, I don't want to scalp this, but again, the NASDAQ's making new highs right now, and Palantir doesn't want to go. I've been wasting my time on this name. So, unfortunately, that is what it is. We should have been, okay, I was going to say we should have been on AMD, but AMD really not doing much either. I want to check in on NVIDIA at some point, maybe when we get back, but Apple moving upside, Tesla 581, Viacom.
You'll like this one.
Lots of movement today. What's up, B?
Sean, you mentioned yesterday how much of a mess this daily chart was on Roblox. So we're right back to the top end of the range here. Just actually tested through 76 on a volume spike for Roblox. Another one trying to participate here.
Yeah,
either Sean is playing some mind tricks. I mean, the other day it was stop orders, and he spoke to me in my brain. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about, Sean. I know what's going on around here. Kohl's, oddly enough, somehow it's 8 cents, but given how weak the stock has been, that's not bad. Now it's 10, 11 cents in the money. It's actually held. I mean, 52.50 to the penny. This just held as the low of the day. So again, anyone can read the chart and go back to that March 25th. That's been a day where a lot of stocks made some lows. 52.50 was the round number that you get. It's trying to make a comeback. I mean, if it gets. Look, if I'm going to risk 50 cents, if it goes 50 cents in the money, I'm going to start taking profit off. If it goes to VWAP, I'm taking it all out because this is still the weakest stock I could find on the board, despite solid earnings, which is a theme that we've talked about. I'll go for, I'm not going to do J. Cole because it's too easy. If you guys can get this one, I am not going to do anything because it's too, you guys already proved me wrong. Hush now, child, don't you cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. That is one of my favorite all-time songs, and if you can get who sings that one, without Googling you people, I'd be very, very impressed. I didn't find my way to along an IPOE. It just tested that 1865 we talked about, broke, really didn't do too much of anything around here. I mean, I didn't see any kind of a volume spike. There was nobody on the offer. So it's moseying along to that higher move, which could be this 20 level. I mean, it's a little bit shy of a 20 even, 1985 or so. Maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't. I think it's got a decent chance to, given how non-parabolic that move has been. If it turns on off 1865, I didn't see anything I liked at that price level, so I didn't take it. Nobody has gotten that one right. It's not Guns N' Roses, it's not Eminem. It doesn't have to be hip hop. I listen to a lot of other music as well.
Okay,
not even close, guys.
Okay, so we did go longer on Ford right now. There's that price that we wanted to get, but watch out for the market. I wonder if that Ford move is now baked in to that. So we'll wait to see here. I do have, make sure I have a downside protection. Yeah, breaking through 45. Oh, here it comes. So Ford's going to come back down again. Like we said, we don't give back what we make on these trades. So that's why we have a quick out. If it does break through 40, I think my out's going to be 43. I don't give it exactly to that price, but it looks like Ford coming to the downside right now. So this is going to break and probably print that 43 and get us out. So there's Ford. That's why we didn't, and we talked about this when this was happening, we didn't want want that 50. It came way back down, bounced around there. I said I'd like a little bit lower. I thought that if we broke 50, that would be a problem. So it did, and now we're low. Let's see if we can get a bid there as well. Palantir, okay, this one we can hit the reloaded, but we won't. We'll just hit timber because that's sort of what it's been doing today. But we did reload there on Palantir, so now let's give it some room to see if it can go. Now, I'm not going to be taking this one anymore. We'll wait for Palantir to go, guys. The bottom right now, 30 on this name. Probably get out if it breaks. If it breaks this level, 28 or so, and then we'll reload it as it comes lower and lower. Well, I mean, I don't have that many shares. Let's just get out, and then we'll reload it as it gets lower and lower into that $20 level.
Sometimes it's like anticipation, so I hear like the trail off, and like I'm hitting the key, and then of course, my apologies there, Sean, but I hit the Bitcoin one because Coinbase is moving on up, and we are the only person that got it. There was like a bunch of fantastically wrong guesses, but Curtis Mayfield, one of the greatest artists of all time, and one of my all-time favorites. So there you go. I'm impressed anyone got that. You got to be at least at my age to capture it. Moving on up is what Coinbase is trying to do. I mean, you look at this 33. This is the reason why Sean adds the break price. The reason why I have offers above this price, and we'll reevaluate if it gets through it. On the way back in, I bought the dip here and it broke one time, and then just an absolute wall. And when you see a wall like that, you don't average in at the same price, right? You wait for it to flush, you get a better price in. Now, rightfully so, I should have had a bid down here instead of trying to catch that bounce, but I never got those 229s or 228.80s or whatever you want to call it. But if we can get through this price, I mean, Coinbase has lots of room to run, guys. Kohl's, I mean, whatever. It's actually pennies away from being a winning trade. But even if I get a win on the long side of that, you guys know I should have had a short. That one stuck out like a sore thumb. Virgin Galactic never, I mean, I wanted shares in the 1990 range again, and this is a point of being too picky. I wanted to get like 90s, 95s because I happened to get 97s on the way down when it broke. That's ridiculous. Don't anchor yourself to the price that you previously got. It's testing back towards that 19 even, but it held 30s the last time. If it doesn't break 30s this time and give me that flush down into the even price, I'll take some profit wherever it happens to be. So if it's between 30s and 50s for the last of those shares, then that's what the market wants to give me. And you can only take what the market wants to give you because it doesn't give a darn about your price. I have not ignored, well, I'm not trying to ignore VTGN, but much like Mosey or PDSB, you wait for the price that you want. I got almost the bottom here in front of 250s, like 248 was my last out off the open. Now I'm waiting for it to come back into those prices. I got still at 58s, but much like Mosey, I'm not averaging in until we get closer to those 60s. It has to press into 60 to 65 for me to get short in front of 270 on VTGN. So you got to be patient with these if you're going to average in or reload. That's what we're doing here. You guys are going to the big screen, Sector Watch time with Brennan.
Yeah, let's have a look at the S&P 500. We'll see what's in charge so far today. I mentioned nice bounce back day for the overall market. 0.6 here to the upside. You can see weakness coming from the consumer discretionary group. Far corner over there, weakness coming from the energy group as well. Another 1.5%. After yesterday tumbled more than 3.5%. There are a few in the banking sector and industrial group as well in the red, but otherwise pretty positive here, led by tech stocks. Once again, you can see pretty much the entire sector here in positive territory. Semiconductors leading the way. Some of the hardware equipment makers are in negative territory. HPE and Cisco standing out. Everything else, Apple here 1.3% to the upside. DXC, earnings name, 1.9% in negative territory. Software makers, though, very, very strong otherwise right across the board. So nice look for them. Healthcare stocks are positive on the day, led by pharmaceuticals. Communication stocks bouncing back. If you remember yesterday, very negative in this group. There's that TTWO, recent earnings name. ViaC, we mentioned in the pre-market, up 3% so far today, having a nice day. Netflix right beside that. I noticed Netflix, 2.3%. Haven't talked about that for quite some time. HRL, another earnings name there, 7%. Right beside it, Tyson's Food as well, 1.4% in positive territory. So consumer staples also providing some lift, but negativity again. Consumer discretionary, energy stocks, everything else though nicely higher so far. 0.6 for the overall market. Back over to Sean.
Yeah, good overall market space. Yeah, good market day today for sure. As Tesla's coming back in a little bit. Facebook, yes sir. Facebook again, another buy that we talked about on Twitter when I was getting loaded up on this one at 270. So really happy with the way this is starting to pan out for us here on Facebook. Beautiful move. Like this is one of the strongest major cap names, right? Mega cap names that there is out there is going to be Facebook. You know, it did, but at the same time, just as easily as it gets excited, that's off earnings, guys, up to 330. It falls just as fast as it goes up. And you can see here, normally I tout stock that follow this 50-period moving average. You could see Facebook not a fan of the 50 period. It's just a fan of big monster moves. Forget about these wicks; those often aren't real. But when you look here, you know, it's just the ranges on Facebook can be huge. Like we just were the last days in that wreck. Like I was just talking about getting long in here at 270 because that's where I am. Well, I mean, I'm long, my average price is in the 90s, but we took another bid here in the 270s. And the point is that, you know, now it's just running its side to the upside here. I like Facebook right now, and 317 up 1.22%. What a difference this as opposed to Palantir. Although I see some of you got long off that 230 that I said on Palantir, so that's going to turn out to be a good trade for many people as well. I'm hoping so. But anyways, that's that. We're going to watch Facebook for the rest of the day here. I think if it can take out its day high today of 318, not even day high, maybe just right here, 318 or so, then that's probably going to be a nice little long, guys.
This is Gift Horse. And I did it. I mean, wow. Of all the stocks to do it on too, I mean, Kohl's, really? Like, it actually gives you a bit of a push. It gives you a bit of a scalp trade in there. And I'm sitting there married to the idea of getting 50 pennies on the first leg here. And the weakest stock known to mankind, I don't know, the weakest stock in the first hour of the day here today is going to be Kohl's. If I can take like 30 cents, I'll go ahead and do it. And then it gives me the option to get maybe a better price on a reload type of play there, guys. So we're going to take some out. I still think it can press into VWAP where it's likely ultimately going to fail. I mean, I don't have a crystal ball in this name. Obviously, I favored the short initially, and we didn't actually get it. But I'll take more out in front of VWAP if we get a chance. It might be a rinse and repeater potentially, but we'll have to see what happens. If the volume is good going into that, I might not reverse into a short trade on that particular trade. Now, there's the break. We finally get through definitively that 33 level. So wow. Here's where you don't like, and I won't take the entire position off if we get back below VWAP, but if it breaks like a 231.50 here, I'll probably take a little bit off. This is assuming I don't get this fill in front of 235, which we might. If I don't get that fill, then I might take some off at 231.50 because I want to reload some at the bottom here. So lock in some more of that profit, get a price beneath that 229. If it fails, doesn't look like it's failing. We're $4 in the money here. I'll take one more leg off in front of 35s, and I want to hold even through high of the day on Coinbase. Miss V.
Hey Neil, AMC is back to the positive territory. A lot of traders on the chat talk about this stock, so could you give us a quick look on the chart?
Yeah,
back to you.
I mean, we've been crushing AMC today, but we talked about the YOLO trade, so congratulations on anybody that had that. We got out on purpose, and super happy with AMC, a very big positive stock for yours truly today, but good move, guys. Good move on that. Thank you, Valeria, for that. And I saw someone in the chat go, AMC, and I was like, I mean, whatever, I can't be mad. This was perfect, man. We celebrated when we got that out. I talked about AMC today. It's on my list as well for that 1280 break, and that's exactly, actually I got to cancel that right now. That's exactly where it stopped, guys. So if you look here again, thank you so much for the love on that. We now have 140 likes. Look at that top, it's right where my finger is there. AMC, look at that, 1280. Look where we stopped, 1280. So damn it, should have watched myself there and called that one. But Coinbase, we have that one again, and that's another one that's been punched in the mouth by me today. Again, 233 out, 234. Now we're doing the same thing as Neil. We'll hold for the moon, and we'll see if we can get some 236 loves right now on Coinbase. So I like that. I'm now in the money on my most recent purchase of Coinbase. So let's see how high this one wants to fly. Still some more upside on Coin. Congratulations, anybody that's had this trade today. It's been a big one. Down to these 230 levels where Neil has this is beautiful. So we'll wait for that one to keep going, hopefully. Now $1.70 in the money for me. So sometimes we got some hands that are diamonds. But that's a good one for me. The only other name we're waiting for now, and you know what? Screw it. Let's just get out. Let's just top this day off, boys and girls. As Palantir now, bang, right back to VWAP, right where we thought it would be. So all good over here, man. It's 10:46. We're rocking and rolling, and super happy with the way this day's playing out for us. Only negative stock today is going to be Palantir, but it's rocking and rolling. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 for 7 today so far, and more damage to come.
Yeah, and well, hopefully not damage on VTGN. Now, we always talk, I talk about this over and over again, how I like to get into some of these stocks a second time through. I don't know if you guys can see the volume spike that this just put on here, but on volume it pops up, but you wait till you get prices closer to the top. 670. 270 has been the out the entire time for me. It breaks the high, I'm going to get stopped out. So it is what it is. I mean, if I get stopped out on this trade, it was the plan, but at least I've managed to get a 62 long, short instead of like a 55, 58 if you're impatient. So sometimes patience is a virtue. One of the things that it does for you is it gives you an opportunity to lose a little bit less when you're like. This is the thing. There's no such thing as winning 100% of the time, right? So your loss, any strategy, like if it wins 80% of the time, it's how much you lose in the 20% of your losses is what I'm getting at here that matters. So if you can anticipate based on how I get these fills on this particular strategy, knowing that the recent cluster before is going to be a bad entry, and if I just wait a little bit longer, the amount of times I don't get the short and it works for me versus the amount that I lose if I take it too early, if that favors taking later entry, then you have to back test. You have to see that when it's happening to you so you can adjust your strategy and save that money. Brendan.
ETWO is a software maker popping up today, a supply chain software maker, 5.8% here. All-time highs, guys, for ETWO as we broke above that last 1280 level. So they reported in the pre-market this morning better than expected for ETWO.
I thought you said TTWO, take two, yesterday's name, ETWO. Good one, a new one for us there. I don't know much about that, but obviously we should be looking at it if it's going to move like that. So a good trade there. Someone said, did we get out of Ford? Unfortunately, we did get out of Ford. So yeah, it didn't work out, guys. It breaks through that 43. We talked about that, but then we noticed kind of a false break out there. So now we're back in, and we're going to make this money right back. We were long at 47, out at 43. So let's see where we can go now with this name. That is Ford. I still like it to the downside. Let's see if it does have some kind of room, or sorry, to the upside. Let's see if it does have some kind of room back to 50. That's where I'm looking for.
So just got my stop locked and loaded so I can actually cover that trade. That's the thing. I can't go through all of that and then miss my out on that particular trade. It looks like they were not getting the follow through just yet on Coinbase, but it still can hold VWAP for us here. Whoops. I wanted Uber there. There we go. I'm watching Uber if only because anytime I see like an even dollar range in both directions, I kind of like the opportunity for this maybe in the afternoon or power hour. And we talk about this all the time, and we're back here at 3:15 every single day. Before that, we're gonna actually have another fantastic interview at 11:15. That's gonna be with Codebase. You can tell you guys twice, but we're back at 3:15. And I always want to make sure I have a couple of plays. Not that I have to trade Uber in the afternoon or I'm going to be trading it for sure at 3:15, but if it holds within $50 at the top, broke very, very slightly in the pre-market 10 pennies up, 49 at the bottom, which hasn't broken. I mean, that's just too obvious of levels for me. And then it closed right in the middle. So anytime it breaks out of a range like that, I'm going to be interested. So Uber's on the radar, breaking and holding above 50. I've been sort of waiting for a spot to patiently to get in some more shares after getting a starter position. You can always try to pick bottoms, or you can look for a recovery. Holding above 47 is key, but actually breaking this 50 level will be a little bit better. So we're going to see if we can't hold the next couple of days. I'm not rushing into it because it's a long-term type of play, but Uber on the march back up and a 50 break, if it's in the cards, I like it for the day trade.
Yeah, I mean, I've liked Uber for a bit as well. Coinbase does fall back down a little bit. We're going to have to wait on it, though, because, yeah, I'm not getting it out. Like, we could have took their $2 when we've already got a nice long on that. But I was sort of hoping for this price, 36. It looks like it stops there at 35. So more to come on that. I mean, I'm just really impressed here. You can see the way the NASDAQ is just churned higher today. So that's been a nice little move for that. So let's see if Coinbase does have, a little bit of a higher print in there, 235 maybe coming on Coin. We'll wait to see if that's coming down in. Ford, same kind of thing. We're going to give it to the low of the day now, a break of 40. We did get a little bit too anxious there on that 43, but it does go to 41. So that wasn't horrible. Now it's struggling at the top here. I don't really know why. Ford should there's no negative news today, and I don't think 3% is that much. So we'll see it. But I mean, it might be a lot for Ford. Let's not get it twisted. We've already made that high there, just same high that was there. So when we gave that price target out here, that's what we meant. So we cashed out of everything there, and then now all the way back in. We did take another long at 47 and got flushed at 43. So now we're going to give this a little bit lower. I'm actually going to take some more bids here if it does come down, and then we're going to be wrong and gone if it breaks through 40. So just a quick update on that trade, guys. That's going to be Ford. More long ahead of 40, but then gone if it breaks. My favorite segment, because it's really all that matters for why I'm doing this. Money Talks, Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, interesting moves in currency markets today. We'll have a look first off at the dollar index. I put the DXY back up here because we're heading back towards the lows after that Fed minutes were released yesterday. Remember, they're talking about tapering. The markets don't like when they talk about tapering. The Canadian dollar up 0.5%. On that, DXY again moving lower. We also got employment data in this country this morning at 8:30. In fact, that was better than expected. So 0.5% here, back towards 83 cents for the CAD. The euro also higher, 0.35. The British pound, 0.3. Back to that 141.5 level that we've been dealing with over the past couple of days. Both Australia and New Zealand in positive territory. You can see the Turkish lira down 0.5%. Japanese yen, Swiss franc, both down significantly. Volatility coming off once again. And yeah, all of these at the bottom having nice days. Crypto's back to the upside in a big way. 41.5 here, 41,600 or 41,600 for Bitcoin. 2,925 for Ethereum. 123 here for Ripple. Guys, back to you.
The only thing worse than, look, I mean, if VTGN breaks 271, I mean, they get stopped out in the trade. The only thing worse than making top wick possibly and getting stopped out in a trade, and look, we love you guys. Brian James, thank you for whatever, man. This is a picture from Coconut Kenny, so thank you, Brian James, one of our viewers here. That is, I'm really, really hoping that the pizza we get from Pizza Nova doesn't have that much pineapple on it.
That's not enough pineapple.
That's ridiculous.
I hope it has a little bit more. I hope it has a little bit more.
Come on, man. Come on, son.
Yeah, we're getting very, very close.
You've got to be. That is like 100 pieces of pineapple.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's a little bit more, but we'll see.
That's ridiculous.
We'll see what happens with that one.
Who would do that?
Yeah, thanks for sending that because we're all very, very excited for that. And I know it's making some of our viewers hungry, and I do apologize for that. But yeah,
hungry.
We are very, very excited to get Neil some pizza soon, and it's his favorite, so it's Hawaiian. We're doing it as a favor to Neil. He's gonna love it, and you're welcome, Neil, man. I mean, you mean a lot to us, so we're gonna get him his favorite Hawaiian pizza very, very soon.
You know,
we did average into Ford here. There's that 42 print that we wanted. Came a little faster than we had hoped for on that. So again, like. I don't know, Brendan. I mean, I'm going to ask you if there's news, but it's kind of like a rhetorical question. I don't really think there is any news on Ford. I just think this is a pullback from that high right here. Did not expect it. We're right at the 50 period is 21. So I don't know if this is going to work or not. Oh, I just heard Brendan in my ear. Please tell me there's like nothing negative on Ford.
There's nothing negative. No, we talked about it in the pre-market. If you remember, there's a couple of positive things actually talking about a deal with this SK Innovations, a joint venture on the electric F-150. They unveiled the electric version of the F-150 and that Sunrun deal as well. So Ford teaming up with Sunrun on charging stations specifically for these Ford EVs, guys.
Yeah. So I mean that's the news that we thought we knew. So yeah, look, we're not out of the money. I mean, we're long at 44s, guys. This is at 41 by 42. This is not time to panic or anything. It's just very strange. On a market pullback, you know, the ES now starting to pull back. So that would give Ford reason, although it seems it doesn't need any, to come back down. So that's making me a little bit nervous. We do have our outs at these lows of the day here, 39. We've already talked about that. And then my next out probably going to be 35. But it's sad because we'll give back some of the money that we made on our initial call to the upside, which turned out to be, you know, 15 cents, where we basically pegged this perfectly. And then since then, we've tried two average-ins, not average-ins, these are all new positions. New position here and out. And then this is the first time we've averaged in. So again, we're basically back to flat, but hey, let's see if Palantir, that's another name on my mind. Let's see if Ford can't get going to the upside. And a good move, look at that call on AMC. Like we gave you 1280, wowzers, should have had an offer there.
Speaking of, I mean, that's a strong move. I mean, there's like the market's up almost, 0.78 on the ES, but the NASDAQ 1.5, so double that. So it's been a strong move upside. Mosey probably has nothing to do with the indexes moving higher, but now one of the things I did say was like, finding these outs when you get stopped out at the top, and then it does this like little pullback that can't get. I should probably zoom in to show you a little bit better. Does this work? Yeah, there we go. You get this little pullback, then that lower high, which thank goodness we resisted shorting that 535 price again. It cannot break down before like an obvious next level. Like it's not even like a clean resistance, but the lower high it tried to put in on that dip, that's when I took that profit. When it can't break this and the volume is spiking, that's when that break is then good for a long. One of the things I tried to do this year, which I mean, at times I've been able to, most of the times not, is look at these same levels for breakout types of trades. That's a big clean one on Mosey. Now, it never really got to the 7 that we've been looking for, kind of got into that chop zone at 625. That's the price that if it breaks the high, I'm not even thinking about shorting it again until it gets to that $7 or at least test it. So Mosey, big runner to the upside. You see some of these gappers follow through. Not all the time, but sometimes they can have a fantastic run for you. The one that is not following through, which should probably not be a surprise when you look at this daily chart, yeah, it's still Kohl's. Yeah, I'm still long. At least I can say it was a good idea to take some of this off here when it got to that 40 range, so we did. Now it's coming right back to that low. 52.50 on a dime was the low of the day. So if I get back in again, it's got to be a little bit tighter to that price, probably like a 60 to 70 area, maybe 60 to 75. If it terminates down there, I'll look to see if I can't get more into the bid. If that eventually breaks 52.50, all bets are off. I'm out of that long. I'm not bottom picking it again. It's entirely too weak. It was the one level that I was willing to go long and off Kohl's. We'll try it one more time if it can bounce there again, and then maybe get into that VWAP. But that was a heck of a miss on the short. And if you're looking for shorts in this stock, of course, it is short sell restricted because it's down 12% after positive earnings across the board, really.
Okay, guys, here it goes. Hot dog cannon time. We're firing them off right now because Palantir just making the day just get better and better here as Palantir continues its move to the high side. We're long 38s, and I know some of you guys are long better prices than that as Palantir, nice move to the upside. I'm going long on a 55 break again. We were going to wait for 60, but obviously this stock wants to rock and roll, so we'll take some 55s there. We may take more at 60. Let's just see how it acts at that level. But Palantir right now starting to go. We talked about it and why, we didn't want to miss the move up, but we just did take some more out there at 53, 55, going to break. We'll take a long, hopefully 56 as it breaks through. And, it could break and stop and come right back to VWAP there. So a little bit nervous about that, but for now, Palantir going to be a good one. If it breaks and it fails, I think we got to be pretty careful at some of these bottom wicks here, like maybe 45. This is going to be worth about a 10-cent risk spot for me here. I just, nice move up. I just don't want to be the guy that pays that high spot there, which we may wind up. So if I do that, which is fine, I want to do it, then we will get out if it comes back down about a dime after that. So that's good. I like Palantir. Let's wait for the high side move. It already happened, but Coinbase 55 cents in the money, Palantir 15 cents in the money, and Ford doing that dance again, guys. But look at that seller right there. We may lighten up. We're long at 44 here. I don't know if Ford's going to go or not, but I think it's worth the shot. It just looks pretty sick right now. Ford, just ever since it ticked that high that we called, it's been downside moves, same as AMC. Oh, AMC just breaks. Okay, so now this is starting to get exciting here on a 13 break, guys.
Wow, big move on AMC. Just a reminder that Oatly, look, we don't know when it's going to open up, but I can show you about 1 million shares. It was just a million. What do you got there? 1.6 million shares on paired volume, but the imbalance is actually pretty tiny. A lot of times, look, and this is not tried and true, a lot of times is that paired volume creeps up, the opening interest gets bigger, and then you do have a smaller and smaller imbalance that can be approaching. So Oatly, Oprah Winfrey backed, could be an interesting name on an IPO play. 17 was the list price. I'm looking at 20 and change. It looks like the indicated open for now on Oatly.
Okay, good, because we have Oatly, so we're going to wait for Oatly to go. We won't have it. It's not in our blotters yet, but we are going to go long on that name when and if it does open, hopefully for you guys on the show. Okay, Palantir time. Let's wait to see now where this wants to go. We just got long. We punched through there. I think we got 56s, did we? Yeah, we got 56s. So we actually got 56,998 or whatever it was. So we get a dark pool fill there on the bid. So good trade there. Hopefully we'll see. That's the high spot. Like, I don't like this action. Thought maybe on a break it could have flew there through 55, but that's fine. So we may be the guy that pays upside for that. But again, we're not going to give this too much love to the downside, only to this 45. So if we're wrong, it'll tell us really quickly, and we know what to do. We're going to get out there at 45. So have a plan of action. We're not going to die on this name again. We do expect if the NASDAQ turns around that this thing will get crushed. So for now, NASDAQ higher. That's a nice story. So let's wait to see how high this one wants to fly right now. We are going to get some out, but here it goes, right to 12.6, 2060. Would like to see a lot higher on PLTR, but now we have it, so let's see where this thing goes.
And I'm going to go with doing the backflip here. Now, the plan of action, of course, I wanted that 19 on Virgin Galactic, but it bounced off 1930. He said, if I'm going to miss my reload, the time that I liked it around this 1985, shorting in front of 20 again, and then if it holds that level, I gotta, look, I just gotta get out. So it holds once, twice, and it just cannot break through 1930. We get out of it, and then look, on a tiny volume spike, it's starting to bounce back up here. So you could be retesting that 20 area. I don't like it as much as if it had given it to you here at 1025, 1030 or so. But take a little bit of a dig action if it does extend this move into 20. Maybe even if it breaks 20 even, and then sort of slides back down and resists VWAP here, it could still be a good one. I'm not on the point where I'd go into a long trade on Virgin Galactic, but it is getting at least a little bit close to reversing that trend. I thought it would go a little bit lower than that, obviously. That's not been the case. I still at that Coinbase. VTGN didn't blow me up, by the way, so I guess that's a good thing. The only positive, there's lots of positive things today. I should say the only positive in addition to Coinbase I'm still holding on to going into Pineapple Gate. And speaking of coin, it's still trying to go, right? So, I kind of threw an offer out here just in the off chance something crazy happens. Almost doesn't matter. 235 is held once. It's about to get tested again. So I think there's a decent chance. Now, if it breaks this level, gets through the high of the day, and then makes a hard reversal off of 40s, I'll probably take profit and hunt for a dip buy for sure, guys. So that's what it's going to be all about with that trade. Coles, yeah, okay, it's flat. It never got me the reload, so it's in the money, but it's not to say that I don't have confidence in it, but it's only a scalp trade. I'm not going to dig in too deep on it. And then that Mosey, just holding the highs, right? So they tried to break 6 even. I think I saw some people in the chat talking about 6 being strong. You're right about that. It was certainly strong. It broke several times, and the buyers just sort of stepped right back up to drive it back above this price. That's why I'm holding off for 7. If it absolutely flushes, I think maybe you can look back at like a 565 or so. But when you have this breakout price looming at 550 where it broke, it's hard to like a 565 when there's a decent chance some dip buyers are going to be looking at that 50 instead. So normally a setup I'd like is that dip into 565. It breaks that, I get bearish. Not the way that 550 break worked, because that's 15 pennies worth of room till you get to what could be an obvious buy support area. I don't want to make that play, guys. Here comes 35 on Coinbase. Let's go. About $5 in the money. Well, obviously not 5 until it breaks 235, but this is the one I want. Next, guys, PDSB, which is the other runner here. This does reverse. So we looked at level on the daily chart, reverses off of 720, wants to come back down. Now I likey. If it bounces anywhere close to it, I'm shorting off of that 720. It was a key level on the daily chart, guys. So let's go back and revisit it now that the sellers have come in.
If he likey, I likey, we are actually out of Coinbase right now. So we'll backflip that out at 35 there, and a good trade, man. So in 33, out 34, out 35, Coinbase for the win today for me and for Neil. So it's been a big day for us on Coinbase, so there's no doubt about that. Really happy with the way that's traded out for us today. That is Coinbase. And, I hope you guys like it. And Coinbase, again, we do have that guest coming on. It's a great topic right now, some of these names. I did pick up some Coinbase. We talked about that at 231 earlier on today. So now we wait to see where it goes from here. But a nice rip upside there for Coinbase. I just didn't want to wait. That's all. Let's call it like it is. I didn't want to wait for that 236. We did have 236 in mind, but again, we'll pass on that and then just see where it goes from here. That's Coinbase right now. We're out, so we're flat. Check back in on PLTR. Yeah. Didn't go, but we did get some 60s out there. Sorry, 59s out. But again, back back to 45 is where we get out of this one. We're just hovering around today. Like Palantir, if it goes, it's going to be a great trade. We're going to be in the money on that one. And then that's going to be our only negative stock today. Look at Space. We talked about that one. We got the low print, although it came right back in. I wish I would have saw that. Holy crap. Good little spot there for Space. That's a nice win. AMC, I don't need to tell you that. We're long at 12.25. We're out now. That's a shame, but that just targeted out for me perfectly, so that's good. AMD, whenever your bids are lower than these outs, that's a good trade. Coinbase, we just talked about that, $2 win right there, so that's a win. Cisco is like this was the big one for Cisco, right? $50. I said that report was not that bad. We go long in the pre-market, and then we're thinking we're doing pretty good when we get out for 75 cents. Yeah, how's that taste right now? That's a $2.25 win. Thank you for all the likes on the sticky note, guys. That's what it's all about. Ford, we've already talked about that. That's a winning stock for me today. And then Palantir, we wait. We wait on you. That's it. That's all 7 stocks for you right there. Find a loser, you will not. However, Palantir, position pending.
Oh, the dreadful. That's like a day trade the world thing we say all the time. It's like, yeah, we're up in position pending. Of course, because you're in something as a day trader, that's just one of those things we like to do. Look, I mean, I should have been probably hunting for a short in the pre-market in the pre-market or at any point in ride. That's of course Lordstown, but I can't ignore the double. It's not really a triple bottom, but the double bottom at 980. A higher low got put in. This is 1020. It's exactly VWAP as well. When you have that kind of a flush off, and we're down 12%, short sale restricted. When you have that kind of a flush, tries to get above this price, cannot do so. Now it's just grinding, gearing up for what could be one of those like little squeeze to the upside type plays. I'm looking at 1020 exactly. We'll try to scalp some off because you did have a couple of failures at the opening range, top 1075 here at the open. That's a great short entry. Even better one right here at 945. So you got to take some off in front of it, even if I get this. So I'm going to go lock and loaded 1021. If you were doing lunch, if you're doing like lunch money, this would probably be like a lunch money type of trade. Now, it's got to break this VWAP, break that 1020 for me to get in. It falls into the category of stocks that has done that power hour or 1:30, 2 o'clock type of ramp up trade. So anytime I see those levels, I'm going to go for it on one of these names that sometimes is heavily shorted, sometimes gives you those nice little runs. I've been on the other end of the trade when it comes to Lordstown, so let's see if I can't get an actual long to work for once. Coles, I'm still in, and it's still testing and failing at 53.50, so it's trying to go up. It can't seem to do so. I'm taking the rest out in front of VWAP. I'm not trying to fight the trend too long. I'm glad that I'm not glad that I didn't get the average in because it would have been in the money, but I'm glad that it hasn't absolutely flushed into my bid in front of 52.50. It was a good bottom pick, at least for now, price-wise. The rest of the trade, position pending, because if it breaks the low of the day, I'll essentially be flat on the trade. But that's why you scalp profits out, right? Because it went some in the money for me. Now if it breaks through the low, because of that profit, because of the better price in the reentry, I won't be down on the session unless I completely miss my stop, which I'll try not to do. I'm going to keep checking back in on Oatly. I know we have the interview coming up. No indicated open time, at least for now, and still looking like it's going to be, actually, no, I just saw an update to 22. So it was 20 just a few minutes ago, but 22. So it looks like it's creeping up here.
I'm debating right now getting a little bit more Palantir here, so maybe we'll do that. I don't know. This is always so silly of me to keep buying Palantir on the way down, but it is making its move down there, and we almost. Oh, that's still Ford. Sorry, Palantir. Oh. Damn it, I put a 45 bid just as it went and we missed it. So, but back to 51 there on that dip. So we'll have to wait on Palantir now as you know, that's the position pending right here. So we're gonna wait on that one. AMC, I think probably could get shorted now at this level. Let's check back in on Coinbase, 236. Okay, so we do get that 236 level that we were thinking of. Nice move up. I'm just really happy that we're long in the PI there, the personal account, Magnum PI there. We'll, good trade on that. We'll see if they can hold up on Coinbase Space. Again, what a good long that was. I just wish we didn't miss that downside there. Look at these levels where we got out from, right there, 931. So damn it, should have been longer there and got longer off that trade, but we did not. So missed opportunity on Virgin. If that comes back, we'll take that. Breaking long on Virgin Galactic, I don't know. I think 13% still probably too much based on that report or their liftoff. I don't know if it's today or May 22nd, I thought I read. But anyways, May 20th today. So let's go longer here, 1992. Maybe if this gets to 20, we'll be interested, but we are noting this 1930 bottom as well, guys.
And look, I thought for a quick little second there that we were going to get stopped out in VTGN. When it touches the high of the day, we'll be pretty happy, and we'll go with, I don't know, slaying a few dragons over here. That's an oldie but a goodie. I don't know why the dragon is Brendan. That doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. But it touches right to the pre-market high, reverses here. I get some out of view up, which you know I'm always going to do. So we just got that first fill. I've had my bids in here since the time that I got into that short position. So the last of the... not the last of the Mohicans, the last of the small caps that I'm actually sitting in is of course going to be VTGN, Coinbase. I said I would have to evaluate what would happen if it got to this pre-market level and then reversed on me here. So it does get up to well, not pre-market, this is off the open actually, like right at 9:30. It got to 237.75, but it just broke up to that price at 237. Could not break. So you talk about using trailing stops. If it gets back below 235, I'll be hunting for a dip buy, but I'll also be covering this trade, guys. So I'll let 235 break. That's going to be my out. We'll lock in just shy of that $5, which is perfectly fine. I mean, I still want the ability to hold this a little bit longer, but I don't want to turn this into like an absolute debacle where I said if it tests and can't break here, I get out and look for another re-entry to get our pie in the sky moving to 240, which I still think has a chance to happen. But if it can't break through the high of the day, if I was looking at short setups on parabolic movers, that is usually one of them, right? You get that spike up, immediate failure, short entry point down here around 35, tries to break 35 over and over again, finally does, cannot get through the high of the day. I usually be shorting like a 236. If this was a penny stock that wasn't Coinbase, I'd probably be in a short. So I got to be thinking about preserving profits when I see that pattern. So we'll go ahead and lock that order in and do so, guys. That's what it's all about here. I mean, you can think the stock is going to go to the moon, and you can have a long trade, but at some point you have to look at the price action and evaluate your decision-making process. I mean, Tesla, it's actually kind of boring, to be honest with you. With the market 1.5% to the upside, still pressing highs, the ES still pressing to the upside, and look at Tesla. I'm not seeing a heck of a lot of follow through. It's not even back to that 575 area even. So I'm going to back off Tesla and then not even do anything unless it tests much, much lower here, because the relative strength is clearly not there in Tesla today.
So we're getting ready for a great interview, and I just want to give everyone a heads up. We are now reloaded. So we'll do a little bit of a backflip here. We'll celebrate if Palantir goes up. I have no idea where this is going to go, but we do get that 47s and right away shoots in the money. So we get out some 52s. We just take some 50s there. We'll get out some more on the way back up, and then that's it. Then we hold, man, for this moon. So we don't want to make the same mistake that we did already on AMC today. And this was not a mistake, but we got out early before it started popping back up. So here we go with Palantir. Let's see if this can go now. We are offering some 52s. It's at 51 right now. Palantir to the moon. This will be a big position. I have more shares now on Palantir than I've had all day. So I don't have, again, no problems telling you guys that the big stick is now out. So the big stick is out now on Palantir. This is the position we have. This is the position we want. We just took some out there at 52. Now we're done. Let's wait to see if this goes. 56, 57 puts us positive on the day for this name, if not more, easily positive on this name. So we'll wait to see if it gets back up here to 2056. Then we'll start celebrating. And then again, I really like this 60 break. We got out last time at 59, but I like this 60 break. If we could break that, then I think we may revisit 75. So hopefully Palantir can go. I have more outs coming. Like, we will get out here, some at 56 and then again at 60. So let's hope that Palantir can be the one that we want it to be today, to the moon here, as it's really dragged on the NASDAQ. So no idea why this isn't going. Maybe Miss Wood, if you're around, start buying some more Palantir right now. Just put on that algo. Just keeps taking out all the asks. That would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, she can take some of the money that I think she pulled out of KE Holdings, like a bunch of shit. I forget how many. I mean, she can put some of that money in Palantir. I don't know what she's doing with it. I don't know. And Brett, of course, look, every time that I'm like, oh, this is the news on this, or I don't see any news on whatever, all that's happened is I've asked Brendan and he's telling me. So I don't see anything, or Brendan doesn't see anything on U1 here. And I know it's moving, but I mean, they posted 7K in net income for the latest quarter yesterday. It moved up. I mean, it did this move on that, and it's up another 13% today on that. I mean, okay, that doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense to me. But we've seen this stock make crazy moves before. Sometimes it had to do with tweets and certain campaigns, and certainly maybe it's the case today, but it's getting right into, whoops, that just zoomed way too far out. It just moved right into the $7 range, guys, where there was a heck of a lot of chop. When it spikes through, retracements can be very, very painful. So if you take your profits, I usually say $7 is coming rather rapidly, and that's a key level for U1. I think I just heard it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're finally ready for our guest of the day. Looking forward to it. Let's go to Brennan.
All right, guys, thank you. Yeah, what an appropriate day to have a cryptocurrency-based company coming on the show to discuss a little bit about the investment side and the mining side of cryptocurrencies. Jeff Coyen and Jake Chernoff are strategic advisors for Codebase Ventures and join us on the show for the first time. Good to see you, gentlemen. Welcome, and thanks for doing this today. Let's jump right into things here. It's an interesting time to be obviously involved in the cryptocurrency markets, regardless of what the scale is. Tell us a little bit about Codebase Ventures and how you both got involved.
Sure. Codebase Ventures is a public company based in Vancouver. We're traded on the CSE under the ticker CODE, CODE. We've been around for several years. We invest in early stage technology and take majority positions as often as possible and work together with early founders to realize, their visions. We were early into crypto and blockchain. We survived the dark winter. And we hope we're not heading into another dark winter, but either way, we're building technology that is fundamental and not really dependent on these market swings.
And we're going to talk about that platform and the technology a little bit here. Arcology. Tell us about Arcology, where it fits into the space, and how some of the viewers maybe have an interest in that and what it can be used for.
Yeah, Arcology is very exciting. We are the principal investor. Years ago, the writing was on the wall that Ethereum was going to face problems scaling. It's the number 2 cryptocurrency, but it's essentially the number 1 enterprise blockchain with a crypto component. And it has trouble scaling. It's expensive to use. It's slow. And if Ethereum had hoped to compete with a Visa or MasterCard network, they're not equipped. So we knew this years ago. So Arcology is founded to be the enterprise blockchain platform that will solve Ethereum's problems, namely around speed and scale and cost.
So when it comes to the actual use for this, I mean, when we spoke, prior to the interview, you kind of explained it as a bit of an operating system or the basis of something that other technologies can be built off of. What is the actual use that is going to be, so key going forward for this technology?
Right. Ethereum is where it is the number 2 and potentially the number 1 cryptocurrency blockchain platform in the world because it really is an operating system. It's not a single app. It is the place where you build decentralized applications. DeFi being the very popular one right now, NFTs being a big part of this also. But again, Ethereum can't scale really to effectively serve global applications that are global in scale. That's what Arcology will do. All the advantages of Ethereum in that you can come build your applications, DeFi, NFTs, anything that's happening on Ethereum can happen on Arcology, but it can run faster and cheaper on our platform.
So that is the primary investment at this point for Codebase. When it comes to some of the other issues maybe that people might run into when mining cryptocurrencies, I mean, you mentioned the scalability. What are the other inefficiencies, I guess is the best word to use, that we run into when it comes to the mining side that this will target?
Jake, you want to talk about the mining side?
Sure. Codebase actually recently invested $2.5 million into acquiring the infrastructure required to mine the actual Bitcoins themselves. So they'll be setting up their mining facility in upstate New York coming soon. It's great because for 2 reasons. It will give the company the ability to have recurrent revenue on their balance sheet, but also will expose both Codebase and therefore their investors to the upside of Bitcoin while limiting the volatility associated with holding the actual underlying asset itself. As you can see from yesterday's events, it definitely has a tendency to fly out all around the place. So it's a great start for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wild time for cryptocurrencies. Jake, we'll come to you again here. Tell us a little bit about the NFT side of things. NFTs have been just an amazing, explosion in interest and attention being put to the market since the beginning of this year. Tell us about how Codebase is getting involved in NFTs.
Yeah. So just recently, they acquired a 50% stake in a UK-based technology NFT firm, which specializes in allowing people to link their social media profiles or social accounts to the blockchain itself and actually mint their own NFTs. And it's great because as opposed to searching out for the new hot NFT that costs millions and millions of dollars, they're building the infrastructure to allow thousands, if not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people to actually mint their own NFTs and then sell them on the open marketplace.
So when it comes, yeah, go ahead.
It's a bit cliche, and I hate to say it, but it's a bit like selling shovels during the gold rush, right? Instead of chasing that big, hot $1 million NFT, they're building out the infrastructure to sell millions and millions of these smaller NFTs and really profit from the NFT boom.
So when I mean, this is going to be a very open question, I guess, but is this a platform that we'll see down the line as a place, a marketplace, if you will, where people can go to both buy and sell NFTs?
As of yet, we're not quite sure where we're going to pivot or where this could really grow to, but I believe that once we have the infrastructure and have people on board who are using this site and actually making their own NFTs, we can then pivot and then offer at a marketplace where they can then sell them as well.
Jake Chernoff and Jeff Coyen joining us, strategic advisors at Codebase Ventures. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about the overall state of the market at this point. We saw, exactly what happened yesterday. We're seeing this impressive move back to the upside today for, cryptos right across the board. When it comes to a technology like Arcology, is there some sort of stability that we can add to some of these markets? And again, this is going to be down the road, but is this the type of technology that can add some sort of stability for investors?
Yeah, it's exactly what Jake had said. This investing in Codebase gives you exposure to these technologies without, what happened yesterday. And, anyone in crypto knows that it's a fun ride. It's a scary ride. Nobody makes money in a flat market either, is the truism, not just in crypto. But by building the fundamental technology, we think we're getting into the right space. We're not, our balance sheet is not exposed, overly exposed to the swings of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins, et cetera. But instead, we're building fundamental technology that will make money on transactions. Again, Arcology will not necessarily be making money on the swings themselves, but by building the transactional platform, the more widespread adoption we see, that's where we see our upside on transaction fees and usage fees.
At the CSE here in Toronto under the ticker CODE, Codebase Ventures. Guys, what can investors look forward to in the future from Codebase?
We hope to have the Bitcoin mining infrastructure up and live and the company earning revenue in that respect. Additionally, we hope to have Arcology's public testnet live so developers can come on and interact and really see, the day and night difference between the speed and cost associated with using Ethereum versus Arcology. So,
Jake Chernoff and Jeff Coyen, strategic advisors at Codebase. Great to speak to you today, guys. The best of luck going forward. We look forward to an update in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care. There you go, guys. Look at another angle when it comes to cryptocurrency markets. Codebase Ventures, again, CODE, listed here on the CSE.
Thank you once again, Brendan. And we're in a different shot here because we have to, look, we're loaded up, and they're not paying us to do this, but that's Pizza Nova. I can confirm that there are a reasonable number of pineapples on this, not the one we saw there in that tweet. So I'm going to be getting to this in a quick second. Of course, I do have some trades on. So I'm going to move my stop to 237 just so that we're not being unreasonable about that Coinbase trade because it touched 40s and now coming back in sharply. The only thing that will make this taste a little bit good here is I just get stopped out of coins. So it'll be a $7 winner, and that's what will actually make this palatable, to be perfectly honest, but I'm a man of my word. You guys were very impressive on getting those song lyrics, even if they were Googled. In the future, I'll try not to give you guys too much time to be able to do that when you guess, but there it is. I don't like pineapple on pizza, and the first bite I'm going to take is actually going to have the pineapple all over it. I don't know if you guys can see it on the side shot. Go back to this camera. Now, this is like these clusters of pineapples. I'll begrudgingly do this for you guys.
Oh, hell yeah. No, that wasn't big enough. Was that a big enough piece, guys? I think we need a bigger bite than that one. What about the tip? Is there no pineapple on it?
It's got bacon on the tip.
Yeah, so that's why he's loving that bacon tip there. All right, there's Neil eating that pizza. Good job, guys. Thank you, Neil. A man of his word there. So we go, congratulations. Where's the confetti? We need something there. That was a big one there. I'll do a little jump for that. Thank you so much for that one. The best $6 I ever spent there on that. Well, it would have been on Bitcoin if I bought that a lot
big
lower.
Slice, man.
That is a big ass slice. Oh, are you eating the whole slice? Okay, I'm feeling that. Good job, Neil. There, he's loving that one, and I hope we gave the chef some tips on that one. That's a good piece there, Neil. Wow, he's loving it. Neil's loving this pizza right now.
Oh,
guys.
Man of my word.
Wow.
But I'm not loving it. Trust me. Like, there was like hot sopressata on this, or like sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
That'd be good. But I'm true to the pineapple. Thankfully, it's a Hawaiian pizza, so there's bacon and there's ham on it, guys. So thank you very much for making that choice. If it was only pineapple, I'd probably have a different look on my face. Brendo?
Making me hungry. It's smelling fantastic in here right now. Let's talk about earnings, guys. A couple minutes to go before we wrap things up for the morning. Make sure you come back this afternoon. Join us at 3:15 for the final 45 minutes of the trading session. We'll touch on these again, but few more earnings names, guys, to get through.
Neil and I going back and forth here. Like, that has bacon, that has some salami on it. I mean, like, I gotta speak to Maggie.
The pineapple bites are like, they're terrible with the mixed in with absolute deliciousness there.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess back to business a little bit. I mean, I saw Foot Locker on that list. It was pretty quick there, but John Deere.
Yeah, put that back up if we can, guys, if you still have it. There it is. Yeah, go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, John Deere, I mean, that's a stock that I usually get slept on. Another one, and this was, like AMAT, and I say this every single time. One of the very first stocks that I ever traded as a day trader was actually AMAT. AMAT, Cisco, Microsoft, and Oracle were the 4 stocks that I traded when I first went live, because that's what all we were allowed to do. Otherwise, you got shut down. And AMAT looking very strong today, guys. So going into earnings, I mean, look, obviously Applied Materials has been on a bit of a pullback, but that's common in the space. Trying to get above that 50 period, 128.50 looks like a very big level. Watch out for this one in Power Hour. Sometimes the plays are going to be what is reporting the next, whether in the morning or whether after market, guys, the following day. And AMAT making a nice little move here. The NASDAQ recovering. So put that on the radar for the afternoon show. We are, of course, always back at 3:15 for the fastest 45 minutes, stealing a word on YouTube, stealing a line from my friend Sean there. AMAT's on my radar. There's still like more than a half a slice of pizza to go. And I will say about half a dozen slices of pineapple on that. Thankfully, there's just as much bacon.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that's enough pineapple on there because it did get taken over there by some beautiful salami and whatnot. So we'll wait on that one. Okay, the only position really that I have on board, well, we do have a small Ford trade on, but we also do have Palantir that hasn't moved at all. Oh, it actually went to 55. That's okay. I wasn't getting out there. Let's see if Palantir can go in the rest of the day. That's the only thing that I'm really concerned about. Miss V.
Hey guys, I hope you're all having a good day so far. Hope you enjoyed the show and having fun as we do. We'll be back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to trade the close together. And happy National Pineapple Pizza, everyone. I don't know how to pronounce
There we go.
Hawaiian.
That's right. Happy Hawaiian Pizza Day. That's a good one there. Neil, of course. And the good thing about it is Neil's now the official spokesperson for Hawaiian Pizza.
That's what's hilarious. Like it's literally the opposite of.
Yeah. So again, Rob or someone, please send me that picture. That could be used for various other activities. So that's a good one. National Hawaiian Pizza Day. Neil, thank you for being such a good sport.
Oh, you know what? I'll take it one step further because, and this is, I'll have to, before I touch my keyboard again, I'll have to wipe my hands. But Steve G just said, why don't you put all the pineapples into one bite and then do it? So trust me, I've done it on Man of My Word. I have done it. One of them just fell off, and I'll try to get them all into one bite. There's like 6 left.
There we go. That is great. Neil loves pineapples on pizza, guys. So thank you so much for making that happen. That's the best $6 I've ever spent. What was that? What just happened? Okay, I'll pretend I didn't see that.
That was legit not good. I'll be honest with you guys, I have West Indian blood. I love pineapples. Like, pineapples are one of the greatest fruits. Antigua, by the way, has the tastiest pineapples you will ever eat in your entire life. Go to Antigua, it's a great island. But man, like, it's just, it doesn't make sense. Now, the rest of this pizza is bacon, cheese, and a little bit of ham. So it's gonna be fantastic when I eat it. But I mean, come on. Like, I'll do that for you guys, but it's just never happening otherwise. Never. Give me a break.
So we may have to revisit that spokesperson thing there for pineapple pizza after that one. But guys, thank you so much. It's been a fantastic show. Like, we're super happy with the trades today. It's been a good one. We are coming back with great interview. Thank you so much, Brendan. Brendan always rocks those interviews. And Brendan, you did get a lot of love there after that one. People saying you're killing it. So we know that. Thank you so much, Brendan, for that as well. And thank you to Valeria and all the production team. And thank you to Maggie for running out there and grabbing that pizza slice for me.
Thanks, Maggie. Over you go.
For us.
We needed a whole pizza.
I was gonna say thank you, Maggie, myself.
Lucas is asking for pizza.
For what left from
What
that?
about it? It's done.
It's for me. What are you talking? Lucas, man, sorry, man. John's the one that paid for it, so you can't even look at me. This guy eats everything. But go Leafs, go! They're playing Montreal. That basically never happens, and I think the Leafs actually have a chance this year. And of course, the year that you can't celebrate in the streets is the year that the Leafs could win the cup.
We will.
Well, yeah. I mean,
don't worry about it.
It's Toronto. They'll do it anyway.
2201, 2202 currently on Oatly, guys.
22.
We'll see.
Okay, so I mean,
right.
hopefully we'll get that open print when it does happen. But we got to end the show. Come back at 3:15 because you know what we try to do here. The fastest 45 minutes will be alive for you. But down the line, I was going to say in the Carolina blue, but she's not wearing it today. It's close. Miss V, for my man Sean Katina, thank you so much for buying a pizza that actually had something other than pineapple on it. So I half enjoyed it. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. See you at the close.
Peace.
Okay.